It's not Scott on the other wing. It's Scott in the midfield, I suspect.
Hawker's on the other wing, I think.
Hawker over there. So Darcy Lang into the middle, Monaghan and Bailey Scott.
Yep.
Yeah, Bailey Scott in the middle. Got Joey Maishman in the middle with Blood and Benson. Christensen will go in the ruck against Zach Zybell. So looking forward to some really entertaining battles right across the ground for Wombegully Plant Farm. Umpire Ganacci just waiting for the last of the crowd to clear the ground and to get us underway here at Anthony Costa Oval. It's 1v2 country footy at its finest. GFL round 16. Just waiting for the thumbs up, and we are ready to go in what will be a minor premiership defining matchup between these two clubs. The winner to go top of the table. Umpire Ganacci holds it aloft, and we are underway. Opening quarter thanks to Geelong Bank. Here's Jason Doherty.
Sam Christensen up against Zach Zybell, and Christensen gets it down to Garner, who can't take it. For Zybell gets the handball out for Colac, coming across Benson, put his head over the ball. Lang comes across the top as well for Colac, wrapped up straight away. Double tackle there, and the ball from Jack Blood will go back to umpire Ganacci.
Orgarinos has come in and grabs Bailey Scott straight away.
So there's the switch, the head-to-head this afternoon. Geelong Insurance Brokers will keep an eye on that. Benson gets wrapped up straight away in that tackle. Lang. I suspect both of those are going to get plenty of the footy this afternoon. Umpire Ganacci again. Third attempt at trying to get it out of the centre square. Throws it up. Zybell gets it down. Hayes for Colac can't take it away. Another pack develops. About 20 players around the ball, and Tom King is going to get the footy out of the middle.
The ball hasn't left the centre square, and we've gone 55 seconds on the Port Phillip Ferries time clock. Tap down Christensen. Ball is still inside the centre wicket area. Picked up and kicked away Orgarinos, but it was smothered. Deflected back towards Monaghan. Here's a chance now for Hawker to send it inside. Forward 50 for Colac. The kick wide, looking for Hillman. Couldn't take it cleanly. Pressured by Stevens. It's going to go towards the boundary line and out of bounds for a boundary throw. And this is a stoppage fest early. Anything you want to pick up? Wombat Gully Plant Farm style matchup. You would have plenty of time to get a bit of a feel, Kirsch, for what's happening out there.
There's a bit going on out there, and Garner, McMullen down. Garner and Burke down back. That'd be a good little matchup, deep too.
From the boundary throw in, tap to the front of the pack and dragged to ground. Here's Bailey Scott in a good tackle. He's at the bottom of that pack. That's Orgarinos. That's a good spot head-to-head wise for Geelong Insurance Brokers, Kirsch. Into the air again, umpire Ganacci being put to work early. Tap down Christensen, rolling ball towards the boundary line. Lang will track it, try to reel it in. Gave it to Scott at close quarters. He lost it in the tackle. There's going to be a free kick, and it's going to go to Colac for a hold, I suspect, and it's going to come back to Bailey Scott, who's having some sort of season.
So Scott left half forward, right foot kick. Oh, he stubbed his toe as he kicked that along the boundary line, and he was looking for the lead of Josh Garner, and wasn't going to get there with that kick, and it's out of bounds in front of the old past players stand in the left forward pocket, southern end of the ground here at Anthony Costa. Boundary throw in.
Jared Garner looks weird in number 14.
He certainly does. Zybell up against Christensen. Comes to the front. Scott can't take it. Quick clearing kick from Nick Stevens for St Marys. Wide, 2-on-1 Colac, 3-on-1 because Hawker was there at the front of the pack as well. Gets it back inside 50. Mark should have been taken. O'Gorman couldn't take it. Close to the boundary line. Umpire says play on as he dropped the football. The umpire's standing right there. It's now rolled out of bounds. And we will have a boundary throw in the left forward pocket for Colac.
Just a skill error there because it was uncontested mark inside the forward 50. McMullen has Adam Garner, which would be another good matchup down there. The Garners have been gone to.
Ball back into play. From behind, Josh Garner won the tap down. Aaron Walters, a handball at close quarters, gave it off to O'Gorman, who went straight into a two-man tackle of Blood and Stevens, and we'll get a ball up. Going to see Damien McMahon about to come onto the field. Left knee heavily strapped. Good to see him back. Stevens, a clearing kick for St Marys, barrels it towards the outer wing, a long ball, but going back with the flight, Zybell judged it best for Colac and took a good mark. We'll look to send the Tigers back inside forward 50. That's what he does now, a long ball. Adam Garner just crashed the pack, front of the pack. Aaron Walters for Colac, couldn't take it away. Adam Garner, a handball on the bow. Lang put his head over at the footy. Bond coming the other way, did well not to give away a free kick. And he lays a tackle. We'll get a stoppage left forward pocket. About 20 from the Colac goal. They attacked the southern end in this opening term. No score on the first quarter. K-Rock Geelong Bank scoreboard. 4 minutes played.
Ball down from McMullen. He gets the handball away. Benson got a clearing kick back towards half-back on the half volley. Chalcraft handball quickly. Algarinos back to Chalcraft, back to Stevens, back to Chalcraft, wrapping them up across half-back. The possessions, he goes long kick, open half-forward flank position. It doesn't sit well. Sprague comes back for St Mary's. He can't pick it up, tries to tap it on. Ball still in dispute at half-forward. And getting in there, Dion Johnston as well. Umpire will come in and ball it up. Point of the centre square at half-forward for St Mary's.
Umpire Richie just wanting to see who the rucks are. It will be Christensen and Zybell. He palmed it down to his boot, but then he kicked it straight up the shot tower. Knocked down by Christensen. He'll try and find the footy at ground level. Trying to reef it out of there is Cooper Hayes in the long sleeves for Colac. He couldn't. Jammed on the boot by Zybell towards the wing. Well picked up by Josh Garner, but he lost it as he came out of the pack. Quick handball, Travellini. Algarinos on the bounce. Maishman back to Benson. Benson just back of the wing. Short kick was neat to Blood. Blood marks just inside the centre square. Hacks the ball inside 450. Not a great kick. And it lands on the chest of Simpkin, who's got it. That's, of course, Lockie playing down back. You won't see Joffe anywhere down there. He goes wide looking for his skipper Malikan, who under pressure dropped the mark. Time to recover the situation. Handball on the bounce. Finds it himself in now on the arms of Scott, who wants to turn on the afterburners. Wonderful tackle. Dragging him down and winning the free kick from Blood. Great captain's effort from the number 6. He kicks laterally and finds Garner, and the former Tigers got it at centre wing.
Centre wing goes now towards half forward, but numbers back there for Colac. Lockie Simpkin handball missed the target. Oh, there was a half a fresh handball that came out, and Colac are able to go towards towards centre wing. Joffe comes up, Simpkin, and needs some support as well. Comes to Hawker again, who's had plenty of the football in the opening stands. It goes wide. Handball underneath. That came from Spokes for Colac. They go along the boundary line. Inside 50 now. Garner down the field, is it? I think it might be. And was a late push from Jack Blood on O'Gorman, and Colac will take the free kick inside 50. Is going to come back to Josh Garner, who'll shoot for goal from 45 out. Just left of centre.
Australian under-19 cricket rep.
Can bowl. Big boy. Coming from a fair height. And has cemented his place in the forward zone for Colac in this season so far. He comes in, right foot kick. Good off the boot. Goal umpire says yes, it's good for him too. First score of the afternoon, Colac. Breakthrough. Josh Garner kicks his first, and they lead 1-6. St Mary's yet to score. Geelong bag. K-Rock. First quarter scoreboard.
A couple of good matchups there on the other end as well. We got Melican obviously got the job on Dobson. Lockie Simpkins got the job on Dion Johnson. And Dustin Waters has the important job on Dowling. But the one contest, Jace, I reckon is going to be really important today is that Zybell-Christensen matchup around the ground. Who can probably be more influential around the ground. We've seen Loftus pinch hit in the ruck last week, and no doubt he's going to do the same again today. So they've got some big matchups against Zybell all day.
Bless you, Matty Kershaw in the experts chair for the Sporting Globe, the place to be for your club's end-of-season events, Mad Monday lunches or drinks and dinners. Sign up at the Sporting Globe for your local team sponsorship to receive gift cards and cash rewards. Give Al a call for details. Back in the middle, tap one forward by Zybell, but Benson the roving, a handball to Damien McMahon, who gave a handball off to Churgwin. Churgwin a handball off to Burke, and Burke sends a kick wide, and mark taken by Harry McMahon, who comes laterally back to Churgwin. Churgwin fires a handball to Garner. Garner heard a voice, but he missed the target with a handball to Damien McMahon. Had to go back and retrieve the situation, then gave a handball to Blood, who was under pressure. Might be a free kick, play on advantage. Garner sends it inside forward 50. Bouncing ball attacked by Johnston. Turns around and snaps a high ball to the goal square. Dobson positioning himself. Boyle spalled by Rennet. Front of the pack. Little kick to the goal line. Dowling was there to take it. Little kick forward came from Christensen, and Dowling was all alone on the goal line to mark and put it through for the Saints first. Quick reply comes on the K-Rock Geelong Bank first quarter scoreboard. It's 1-6 St Mary's, 1-6 Colac. 8 minutes played. Port Phillip Ferry's time clock.
It was funny because I was just watching Dowling then as that ball was sort of transitioning through the corridor, and he just started darting back to goal, and Dustin Waters unfortunately got a little bit ball watchy. You can't do that if you've got a job on someone like Paddy Dowling, because we all know he can tear you apart in a couple of minutes, and you can't give him more than a metre. So if he's got a lockdown job on him, he's just got to concentrate on him and not get caught ball watching.
Back to the middle. Loftus having a run in the ruck now against Zybell and got his hands to it. Garner, that's the St Mary's version. He gets it away to Benson. Back to Garner. His kick was smothered at half-back, though. Colac come the other way, go back towards centre wing. In front, Bond just back on the ground. Can he track it? He can. He handballs it backwards towards Damien McMahon. Has to wheel back on the right, go along the line. Kick was smothered. Colac now back towards half forward with their kick inside 50. And Garner at the back. He can't put the pressure on appropriately for keep the ball in. And it's out. Burke sees it over for a boundary throw and 50 around from the Colac goal.
A lot of Garners out there, Jace.
Garner. It's like a law firm.
Yep.
Ball back into play. Left forward pocket. Colac in attack. Zybell will grab it out of the ruck with a shallow throwing over. Handball to Monahan. Monahan from 45 sends it towards goal, but his quick snap has missed through to the left. And a minor score. Colac take back the lead by a point. They're 1-1-7. St Marys at 1 straight 6, 9 and 3/4 minutes played on the Port Phillip Ferries time clock.
Quick kick in, Travellini as always to Garner, back to Travellini. Tries to spear the ball to half-back, doesn't hit a target. Colac with the numbers. Can they pick the footy up? That's the thing, though. Bryce McDonald was across there. He couldn't keep it in. And another boundary throw in, left half forward for the Tigers. GMHBA Stadium side of the ground. And Zybell in the ruck against Loftus. Loftus gets a hand to it at the end. Benson at the front of the pack. Loses the football. The umpire says holding the ball. So free kick, Colac coming back. Bailey Scott will take it on centre wing.
Lucky not to give away 50 there, Blood. He gave it back, but he threw it sort of 4 metres in the air to ensure that they had time to get back. McMahon in front of the pack. That's Damien for St Marys after no mark taken in the contest with a kick coming in and about 35 out from the Colac goal. We'll get a ball up. Umpire Ganaccia to put it into the air. Loftus, after a big job against Trent West last week, went early and he actually didn't get anywhere near it, and Zybell grabbed it out of the ruck. Quick snap into the right forward pocket. Jamison can't take it cleanly for Colac, but they'll get out of trouble here, St Marys. The kick towards half back is okay for Chalcraft, but he dropped what he should have taken under pressure from Spokes. Got a handball up to Stevens. Stevens got a handball over the top. Maishman spun out of trouble nicely. Handball to a sitting duck in Garner. It might have been taken without the footy and he'll get a free kick. Just a little bit overzealous was Joffrey Simpkin on Jared Garner, and Garner says just slow things down and get some semblance of control of this game. He pulls the kick to our broadcast position to a one-on-one over the head of Chalcraft and also McCarthy. McCarthy a handball along the line, tried to get it to Joffrey Simpkin. Chance for Hawker, ran out of room and then gets a little shove from Connors at the St Marys coach's box, and we'll get a boundary throw in. Almost true centre wing at Anthony Costa Oval. St Marys 7, Colac 6. That should be the other way around. It should be Colac 7, St Marys 6 in this first quarter for Geelong Bank.
Ball from the ruck contest. Zybell got it down. Monahan, high kick towards half forward. Punched away. Defence working overtime for St Marys again. Shuffle the footy out. Ling with a quick kick back towards the middle. No mark taken. Jared Walters for Colac. Over the top of it on centre wing. Now he's wrapped up. Loses the football. The umpire says play on. Zybell was in there. Loftus handball. Tried to get it to Garner. Coming back, Paddy Dowling as well. He's wrapped up. Ball spills free. Spokes. Umpire said holding the ball. Going to come back for a free kick. Cooper Hayes will take it on centre wing for the Tigers.
Is Narch close enough we can tell him about Dacos? Because he's a mad Collingwood supporter, Steve Ganaccia.
Get Birchie to do it at quarter time.
Cooper Hayes had a good season, averaging 19.6.
As you told him.
A young kid, I did tell him.
From Geelong Amateur. Sends it towards forward 50. Big fly Zybell side of the pack. Ben McCarthy runs out of room in front of a good crowd in the Don Matheson Pavilion. Sunday footy doesn't work, apparently.
No, it doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
No, it's a complete stinker.
Yeah. Why would you bother?
Nobody ever comes.
No. Boundary throw. We are being facetious.
Just do it every week.
Yep. Zybell and Loftus. Ball back into play. Loftus got a hand on it. Front of the pack, Orgarinos. I mean, he's surely a free kick coming, and he will get one. He got either high or held. And now they're paying advantage. Loftus ran himself into trouble, but got out of it with a handball to Maishman. A kick now to half forward. Sprague on a lead. Maybe a free kick for an arm chop coming. Not paid against Barrow. The ball at ground level for Dowling. He likes to pounce here. 52 from goal. Pulls the kick towards the top of the goal square. Playing from behind and jamming it on the boot was Christensen. It'll roll towards the boundary line and out of bounds or through for behind. It's a behind. A minor score, and we're all locked up at 1-1-7 apiece. St Marys and Colac opening term. Gone 13.5 minutes on the Port Phillip Ferries time clock.
Yeah, Bricko, just when you can.
So, Spokes from fullback for Colac. In short, finds Darcy Lang. Right, left, whichever one he wants. Right foot this time. Just goes outboard to Cooper Hayes at half-back, takes the mark for the Tigers along the line, turned it over. Bad kick, Churgwin in front of the scoreboard. Here at Anthony Costa, he gets it moving to Jack Blood. The skipper goes inside 50 with the kick. Dobson at the back. Malikan tracks him to the boundary line and sees it over. And the ball as well. And it will be a boundary throw in the Paul Peck pocket at the northern end of the ground.
Trent McMillan also looking weird in number 28, where he normally wears number 31.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not quite right.
No. Boundary throw in right forward pocket, northern end of the ground. Loftus and Zybel. Zybel winning the tap down, rolls it about 15 metres towards the boundary line. Kept alive. Loftus got back there to give it to Damien McMahon. Jams it on the boot to about 20 out from goal. Wonderfully controlled Dobson, but he had his kick smothered by Malikan as he went to go on the left. Johnston fighting for it at ground level for St Mary's. Trying to get a handball up to Dobson. Ball spills back to Johnston. Johnston tight in the pocket. Went to the top of the goal square. No mark. McMullen.
Oh.
Arm chop paid. And he'll take a free kick at the top of the square. In fact, it's Harry McMahon, and he'll have a shot. Now, he doesn't want to put this into the construction site. If he could just sort of put a little lob wedge over the goal umpire's hat rather than try and drive it 420 down the middle. And McMahon, and actually just sort of chipped it over the top into the signage, the KFC sign behind the goals. And St Mary's get there second. And Harry McMahon is having some sort of breakout season. He kicks his 25th of the year, and that's the 50th goal of his GFL career for Harry McMahon in game number 47. And he gives his team a 6-point lead. They're 2-1-13 on the K-Rock Geelong Bank scoreboard. Colac, a 1-1-7. Geelong Bank's 1-2 home loan, 1% less for 2 years.
There's a lot of movement in the St Mary's forward line at the moment. There's players going everywhere, so they're obviously making sure they don't kick into that high ball and playing into the Colac defence's hands because of the players they've got down there in the defensive half. So a lot of movement, a lot of eyes lowering, and that's probably what makes them so dangerous going into that forward line.
Back to the middle, Loftus and Zybel. Zybel just stands there, taps it straight away. Blood got it, though. And he gives it away by hand to Benson. Gets it to Bond. Goes towards half-forward. Spokes read it the better, though, for the Tigers at half-back. Switches it out towards centre wing. Good kick. McCarthy takes it. Wants to try and move it on quickly. Short little kick back in. Board. Had to be okay to the big fella. Zybel took it. He wanted to try and move it quickly as well, but pretty well covered. So he goes short and lateral. Hawker right on the boundary line at centre wing. Goes over the top. Tacking around, Australia 2 style, McCarthy. Left foot kick inside, 50, mark. And it was just going to fall in the right spot for Colac, and I think it might be Walters who's taken the mark. He just put the hand up at the right time, fell into his arms, and he will shoot Aaron Walters for his first of the afternoon. The second for Colac. He's about 40 out, 45-degree angle at the southern end. So can he finish off his good work? Nick Stevens stands the mark. He comes in now and spears it through. It was pretty easy in the end, really, just like that. No problems for Aaron Walters. Kicks his first second for the Tigers. And they go to 2-1-13. St Mary's also 2-1-13. Geelong Bank K-Rock. First quarter scoreboard, Geelong Bank's 1-2 home loan. 1% less for 2 years.
Well, it's going to be a bit of that, Jace, today, making sure that you take your opportunities inside forward 50. They are ranked 1 and 2 for inside 50s, which is no surprise, considering they're 1 and 2 on the ladder. They both average around 54 per game, which is about 13.5 a quarter. So you're going to get a good look at it. If Dobson's averaging 7 marks inside forward 50 per game, they're going to get a good look at it. At the other end, the contribution of Garner is going to be so important. He needs to kick a bag today as well.
Back in the middle, and Adam Garner's doing the ruck work. Tapped down, though, by Christensen. In the end, the ball ricochets back to Lang. It was stolen out of there by Orgarinos. He gave it to Benson. Kicks on his non-preferred left. Pulls a kick to about 40 metres from goal. Rennett's the spoil for Colac. Simpkin overran it. Keeping him busy is Jared Garner. A handball on the bounce, picked up nicely by Walters, the former St Mary's player. He goes laterally into the left-back pocket to Hawker, who marks. Hawker looks to use the outer side of the ground, and Garner and Adam Garner can't take the mark. Good pressure from Christensen to knock it out of bounds. Boundary throw-in at right half-back. Well, left half-back, I should say, for Colac. Right half-forward for St Mary's. 2-1-13 apiece, as you'd expect from teams 1 and 2. Boundary throw-in for Garner. And Christensen in front position. Ball's allowed to hit the ground. Tracked by Lang. Oh, head over it. Did he get one high from Blood? Umpire didn't see it. I thought he might have. Walters jams it on the boot. That's, of course, Jared. There are 3 Walters out there for Colac. Jared, Dustin and Aaron. There's 2 Garners.
3.
2 Garners for Colac, 2 Simpkins,
Yes.
and just the
2 McMahons.
just 2 McMahons for St Marys.
All happening.
And there's a little bit happening. There's from the boundary throw in a free kick. Push and shove, Lang and Dion Johnston getting to know each other. They would have played a little bit of VFL against each other, I suspect.
Aaron Hawker got winded.
And Aaron Hawker's got the free kick.
Yep.
I think is he the smallest man on the ground, Hawker? As he gives a handball off
He's
to
now.
Simpkins.
Orwell's not playing.
Lockie Simpkin goes wide. That's a good Hamlin hanger contender. Pack of 4. Strong grab. Taken out there. I reckon that's McDonald taking a really nice mark for Colac. He'll send a kick high. In fact, it was Josh Garner. A long ball inside forward 50. We know he's aerial prowess, and it's landed on the chest of Zybell. So he just propped himself in front of Christensen and took a really good mark. Did Zach Zybell. He just saw the drop better than the inexperienced St Mary's big man, and he'll have a shot at goal. In fact, it might have been McMullen he took the mark in front of. Poking the peepers back there, it was. Zach Zybell playing game 92. Will kick from 40 metres out. Drives it to the southern end and does not miss. Nice finish from the big man, and they lead again by 6. Colac, they're 3-1-19 on the first quarter. K-Rock Geelong Bank scoreboard. Geelong Bank's 1-2 home loan, 1% less for 2 years. St Mary's a 2-1-13. Zybell with his 9th of the season and 106th of his career. In the expert chair for the Sporting Globe, here is Matty Kershaw.
It's good to see there's a little bit of feeling in this game as well, because when Zybell marked that, Joffrey Simpkin come over, gave a little nudge, then Connors come over to Simpkin, gave him a little bit of a nudge, and there was a fair bit of push and shove. So, you know, the ladder position, it means a lot, as Travis Robertson said to us pre-game, and it really is important to where they finish on the ladder, and both teams want to finish on top, and they're playing like it at the moment.
Back to the middle. Christensen up against Garner. Ooh, Garner for St Mary's. Former Colac Garner, who's now at St Mary's Garner. Gives it to Blood, who goes towards half forward. Dowling, Hamlin hanger. Over the back, just read it the better, Paddy Dowling. He wants to try and measure the kick. Dobson comes out, got a half a dozen on him, falls to the side. And don't argue, Maishman, handball over the top, goes deep into attack, into the pocket, and around Sprague. Rather than go for goal, he kicks it across the face of goal. Hawker had Lang in support for Colac. They might be away. Scrambly kick out towards halfback. Great pick up. Hillman needs to get it away quickly. Bond, though, for St Mary's going the other way.
Bond, a short little kick is okay. Handball off to the run of Garner. Jarrett now for Dobson, diving and taking the mark. Slips catch style. Hamlin hanger contender Sam Dobson worked off the body of Malikan. And the star forward is marked in the left forward pocket at a chance to kick his 38th of the season and pull to within 3 of Andrew Bosley in the run for the goal kicking. Just the pressure on the ball coming out. Hillman's kick after taking it, kicked it straight to Doug Bond, and that set things up for the Saints. And a chance for Dobson to tie the scores. 20 metres out. Left of centre, no issues there for a player of his quality, and we're locked up at 3-1-19 apiece in this opening term on the K-Rock Geelong Bank scoreboard. Geelong Bank's 1-2 home loan, 1% less for 2 years. Birchie for Geelong Sports Medicine Centre, you're seeing plenty of rotations in front of you this afternoon through this opening term.
Yeah, I have been really intrigued with that actually, because there's been a number of really crucial players of both teams coming off regularly. So it must be just that premeditated rotation that they do nowadays.
Just keep an eye on Darcy Churgwin. He's just in the hands of the St Mary's physio. Just come from the ground for St John of God. Just let us know if there's any issues there for the young Saint.
Garner in the middle. He got it down, but Connor's got the clearing kick for St Mary's. Comes back towards, oh, gee whiz, Joffy got one high there. Simpkin, Dion Johnston didn't quite mean it, but he went over the top of him. Actually, Johnston might get up the worst for where his knee went straight into Joffy's head, which
that's a hard head.
Pretty hard. So he goes with a kick. No mark taken. Blood turnover for St Mary's. Back towards Dobson, who goes up. Should have taken the mark. Really couldn't. Melican in the end just got him across the back there, and they go away. Colac through half-back. Simpkin. Jonathan goes out wide with the kick and finds McDonald for Colac, and the Tigers just hold it up in front of the scoreboard.
True centre wing, out of side at Anthony Costa Oval. Not a breath of wind. He goes short with a little kick and finds Ben McCarthy, who's been a revelation in the midfield this year. Making the most of that opportunity with Bailey Scott. We haven't caught a lot of Bailey Scott this afternoon. Drives a kick over the head of Zybell inside forward 50. Falls for Adam Garner. Quick snap around the corner. Lammy's Tavern goal of the afternoon. One touch onto the boot from the big man for the Tigers. And he kicks his first. And Colac's fourth on the K-Rock Geelong Bank scoreboard. 4-1-25. The visitors, 3-1-19 the home team St Marys in an entertaining opening quarter here at Anthony Costa Oval on K-Rock Football, thanks to the new Benny Jaffel at APCO Cafe 24/7. And in the experts chair here again is Matty Kershaw.
Well, they're those chances, those half chances they just need inside forward 50. But I was just watching the way that Maxi Orgarinos and Bailey Scott have been rotating, and Maxi Orgarinos is obviously getting Bailey Scott in transition, but prior to that they're just doing their normal rotations.
Zybell gets it down in the middle. Benson wrapped up by Monahan, pushed into the ground, can't move. Umpire says, I'll come in and ball it up again. Some luminaries here today. Would you believe Ron Watt is standing 30 metres from Damien McMahon across the other side of the ground? I bet you they're not taking notes together, though. Ball. Ryan Monahan can't take it. Benson, they just dancing in the middle, leave the footy behind. Umpire said a hold. I don't know how it can be a hold when both of them were holding, but anyway, Ryan Monahan's got the free kick. Literally at the Palais doing dancing there.
They were, yeah.
You made Harry Ling smile with that comment.
Yeah, thanks, Harry.
Just concentrate on the game.
I sign autographs at quarter time, Harry. If you want an autograph, that's all right.
Monahan short onto the chest of Lang for Colac, still inside the centre square. He turns and kicks on his right. Too much on it for Hillman. Ball bounces at the feet of Hawker. He got a handball on the up, but they're going to turn it over. Chance to attack inside defensive 50. Burke to the lead of Dobson, who's a long way from home. Back edge of the centre wicket area, sends it into space. Johnston's got good toe. Marks, turns, kicks quickly from 60 to a one-on-one. Although it got past Dowling and also Aaron Walters. Dustin Walters found at ground level by Dowling. Handball back. Jared Garner, 40 from goal. Wonderful snap. Got the carry, yes. Oh, all class, Jared Garner. He kicks. He's first of the afternoon, and we are locked away again. 4-1-25 apiece on the first quarter K-Rock Geelong Bank scoreboard. And Garner kicks goal 192
Stop
of his
showing off.
GFL career, and he's got a little smile as he's told to stop showing off. The players come to us right here at the interchange gates where position, so we can actually converse with them.
Darcy, you
we can
feeling
tell,
okay?
We can tell Darcy Churgwin, go
He's
and get
fine.
a kick.
Yeah.
Not as good as his old man. That's not true.
Darren who?
Only played in flags at Drysdale and St Marys. When are you going to catch up? You'll play one at Drysdale next year, won't you?
Back in the middle. Jeez. Zybell gets it down. Oh, gee whiz. Gone sideways now. Maishman from the middle. Goes towards half forward for St Marys at 50. Harry McMahon tried to get across there. Now it goes. Chalcraft into the pocket with a spearing pass towards Loftus. He can't take it. Might come back to him. Got some support. Benson wrapped up. Chicken wing. Lockie Simpkin got him down. The umpire says holding the ball. And it will be a free kick. Tigers in the defensive 50. Lockie Simpkin will move it quickly and goes to the half-back. Cooper Hayes has taken the mark.
Hayes from Geelong Amateur feigned a handball but decided to go against putting it to Jared Walters, so goes with a kick now to Ben McCarthy. He marks at left half back. He can go short now to Jared Walters on the outer wing, just on the northern side of the scoreboard. Former Geelong Falcon, I think Northern Blues or Carlton VFL as well. Sending it long to half forward. Went over the head of Adam Garner, knocked by Bond. He got knocked, but the tap was good into the path of McMullen for St Marys. He barrels a kick forward that goes through the hands of Cody Spokes. He'll have to go back and retrieve the situation with Lockie Simpkin, but his handball missed Simpkin and went out of bounds for a boundary throw. And there is a really good crowd watching a really good game of footy. 4-1-25 apiece, 27 3/4 minutes played on the Port Phillip Ferries time clock.
So throw in Zybell back in the ruck for the later stage of the first term against Christensen. He gets it down and a second tap with his left hand as well. Zybell. Now Jack Blood off a step for St Marys. Back to half forward with the kick going up. Harry McMahon and off his hands. And also Cody Spokes for Colac. And we'll have a boundary throw in at right half forward for the home side. 28 played first term. Port Phillip Ferries time clock. Zybell tried to take it out of the ruck contest. Monahan with a little toe poke. McCarthy. Benson puts the tackle on him straight away. And the umpire says, holding the ball.
Jeez.
He didn't really make an effort to
No, he did. He
dispose
sort
of
of
it.
just laid with it, didn't he?
So Benson wants to play on quickly and does from right half forward. Long kick towards the top of the square. Colac get back there with numbers. Ball spills towards Harry McMahon. Doesn't take it with him. Puts the tackle on though in the end. And the umpire will come in and ball it up about 35 out from the St Marys goal.
No wonder the rotations are quick. Garner's only been off for about 80 seconds.
Straight back on.
There's no limit, I reckon, in local
Yes,
footy.
that's right.
Umpire Ganacci puts it into the air. Tap down Christensen. Roving Chalcraft, but going nowhere as he walks into the tackle of Jared Walters. And we'll get another stoppage. It's been free-flowing, it's been entertaining, and it's been everything 1v2 should be. We haven't been disappointed by St Marys and Colac so far. Ball into the air from behind. Christensen won the tap down over Zybell. Trying to run onto the footy was Dion Johnston, but it's held up underneath the pack. Might be one of the Walters under there for Colac, as is an interesting tackle laid by Paddy Dowling. Getting to his feet, in fact, is Nick Simpkin. In fact, Lockie Simpkin. Nick played at 11 o'clock. Old smart chat. Tapped down by Christensen to the pocket. Dowling in the peck pocket. And the other 23 comes the other way. Monaghan barrels him off the footy. Paddy Dowling wondering why he didn't get a free kick maybe for front on contact. It's out of bounds for a boundary throw in right forward pocket. And this is the most sedate as play has been through this opening quarter. So it tossed back into play, right forward pocket, northern end of the ground. Zybell and Christensen again. Zybell winning the tap this time. Orgarinos trying to barge his way through the pack. Was taken in a two-man tackle by Dustin Walters and also Zybell. And another stoppage, Jay. So maybe just an arm wrestle for the moment as Bailey Scott last man up.
So ball up. 45 out from St Marys' goal. Zybell goes up, tries to tap it towards the boundary line. Cooper Hayes kept his width there. Left foot kick around the corner. And unfortunately kept his width with the kick as well. This is out of bounds on the full, on the outer side. And St Marys through Harry Ling. We'll try and bring it back in. Short little kick, dangerous, but good mark by Jack Blood. So still at right half forward. Pretty close to siren time. 30 and a half played. He drives it long. Inside 50. Looking for Maishman, who came off the wing. Plays on quickly. Turns around. Right foot kick and misses. So took a good mark and was able to get away from Rani Jamison there. But unfortunately for St Marys, he missed to the far side and 3 for 1 behind.
Brennets to bring the ball back into play for Colac at the northern end of the ground. Just trots off into the left back pocket. Driving left foot kick, as you'd expect, towards half back. Big fly, Adam Garner, front of the pack, Harry Ling. Kick smothered by Aaron Walters, who then picked up the loose footy and gave a handball away to Hayes. Hayes jammed it on him at the boot, but he had no room to work with. And he's actually put that on top of the KFC scoreboard on the outer side of the ground. That's actually landed on the roof. He just wasn't able to keep control of the footy, and the Sherrans just bounced away, and now it's coming back and emerging
Frank Fabiani got a possession.
Emerging from the crowd is Doug Bond. Bond towards right half forward. Dobson the fly. Dobson can't mark. It's off hands and towards the boundary line. Zybell happy to see it out near the little gap in the fence at right half forward. Anthony Costa Oval. 4-2-26. St Marys. Colac 4-1-25. K-Rock Geelong Bank scoreboard. And we're approaching 32 minutes played on the Port Phillip Ferries time clock, and we have just a blood rule. And it might be Zach Zybell coming towards you, Birchie. Keep an eye on that. Just if you pick up any side of where the claret might be flowing from for the Colac big man. Not sure what we can pick up. Birchie, you're closer. Where's that blood that apparently he's been sent from the ground with?
I think it might be his right eye. Just a little bit red around that region.
Okay. Didn't appear to be a lot. So anyway, enough to force a stoppage in play, and we'll get a boundary throw in at right half forward with St Marys in attack.
So Adam Garner in the ruck now with Zybell off the ruck. Christensen gets it down. Goes towards Orgarinos. Kick off the ground inside 50. Oh, goes towards Dobson. He can't pick it up though. Fell over the head of a couple. Jared Walters handball. Was out wide to Adam Garner. Gives it away to Bailey Scott. Runs out of room. And it will be another boundary throw in. Right half forward. 55 around from the St Marys goal.
Now 33 minutes ticked
Anybody in
over.
the timekeeper's box?
I think they're in the kip.
Yeah.
We have had 8 goals, but probably no real major stoppages. Boundary throw in. Tap down Christensen. Roving Benson. Jammed it on the left boot. Kick smothered. And there is the siren as Hayes smothered that kick for Colac. An entertaining opening term. 4-2-26 St Marys, I should say. 4-1-25 Colac, that opening term. Thanks to Geelong Bank and Geelong Bank's 1-2 home loan, 1% less for 2 years. Around the grounds at Leopold Sporties, North Melbourne 5-5-35, Melbourne 1-2-8.
Clarko.
Does anybody want to win this premiership?
Well, it's open.
27 points is the margin. I know it's only quarter time, but Hawthorn did similar to Collingwood yesterday and was able to
Maintain.
never gave up
2
the
days
lead.
in a row, Arthur.
Arthur in short so today.
Have a look at him.
It's a worrying sight. Thank you for that, Kirsch, in the experts chair for the Sporting Globe. Sign up at the Sporting Globe for your local team sponsorship to receive gift cards and cash rewards for your club. Give Ella a call for details. As we go down to Jane Birch for Geelong Sports Medicine Centre. Birchie.
Thank you. I've got Colac coach Ron McSparron here with me. Ron, you're really happy with the endeavour of the team early on in that quarter and taking their chances, but just a few contest work and shape around the stoppages.
Yeah, we probably just finished off tackles we didn't have to and just relieved the pressure a little bit. So if we're a little bit smarter with that and get our shape around the footy better, it should work.
Good luck for the second half.
Thanks, Beth.
Jane Birch there with Ron McSparron for Geelong Sports Medicine Centre, your ultimate destination for health, fitness and recovery. And congratulations to Emma and Nick Jarman and all the team at Geelong Sports Medicine Centre, finalists in the Geelong Business Excellence Awards that was announced during the week. That we haven't got to that hydrotherapy pool yet, but I suspect that might be seeing me over summer when I'm playing a little bit more golf. Just down at Royal and Ancient Port Arlington.
You're not rolling the arm over this summer?
I don't think so.
Oh, I think you might be lured back. You watch for a couple.
St Leonard's fourths?
No. The
Joey's six.
Joey's six.
Please.
Yeah. We're back in the middle, second quarter. Harvey Norman. Think Harvey Norman for all the big brands at Geelong's best prices. Here's Jay's.
Zybel gets it down. Cooper Hayes comes off the wing for Colac. Can't take it. Benson can for St Marys. He goes towards half forward with the kick. Spokes tried to tap it back. Only as far as Blood. Put his head over the football as you expect. Tries to get it towards Jared Garner. He can pick it up. Can he get free? He does. He shuffles it to Chalcraft. Then to Christensen. 55 out. Goes to the pocket. It was a great kick for Tom Rennitz. He unfortunately plays for Colac for him, and it was a great mark, and he got it to Cooper Hayes at half back.
Hayes goes short. A kick on the bounce. It isn't a great one, but it's well retrieved and handballed back by Hillman. He did okay to then find it again, although it's a throw now. They should have been holding the ball, not paid. It's going to fall for Monaghan, who jams it on the outside of the boot. Joffy Simpkin stretch and mark against Connors. Then a quick handball release for Lang. Lang from 49. Open goal. Missed to the left. Because he kicked on his right, which is his preferred side, but I reckon he's a better left foot kick. And we're all tied up again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 6th time we've been locked together this afternoon between these two teams. We're only a minute into the second quarter, 4-2-26 apiece on the Harvey Norman K-Rock scoreboard.
Travellini goes out wide, looking for Ling. Hawkers against him, back towards Hayes. Can't pick it up for Colac. Now the handball from Nick Stevens to Benson. Short little kick. Great little pick up as well. And that was towards Blood now, who goes with the kick to the handball to Benson. He goes with a kick in the middle. Harry McMahon, they're moving nicely. Got it to Jared Garner. Can he get around Spokes? Too easily. Goes inside 50 with the kick. Dobson. And you're not going to beat that, Sam Dobson on the lead. And he's going to take the mark and shoot the goal from 50 out directly in front.
I don't think Cody Spokes wants to see that edit.
No, it won't be a great edit. And there's a desire to tackle. There's a want to tackle. And that just wasn't there for Spokes at that stage. You know, Garner's a strong unit. You can't allow him just to get a little bit of steppage once he's got ball in hand, and that's exactly what he did.
So Dobson back on the cricket pitch area in the middle. He's going to run in and kick the southern end of the ground, swimming pool end here at Anthony Costa. Right foot kick. Breeze, none to speak of, because he has put that straight through the middle. Goal umpire comes back. His second of the afternoon, and a great start for the home side. 5-2-32. They lead Colac 4-2-26. Harvey Norman K-Rock second quarter scoreboard.
A little bit of transition just prior to that as well. Harry Benson got the ball inside defensive 50 and ended up kicking that ball inside, well, nearly inside forward 50, just out, probably about 60 metres out. So his work rate, as we know, he is one of the premier players of the competition. To get it from defensive 50 to nearly attacking 50 with his involvement is obviously supreme, and that is what makes him such a great player, his ability to get on the end of everything.
North Melbourne by 32 points down in Hobart. Tapped down Zybel. Chance for Benson. Got to his feet, then kicked, but only about 8 metres. Was overrun there by Aaron Walters, trying to sock it off the ground. Hayes socked it straight to Chalcraft. Dumped in the tackle. Got a handball away. Orgarinos held it back nicely. Gave it then to Benson. Just forward to the centre circles. Kick inside 50. Back with the flight, judging at best. Rennitz took a nice mark. Then quickly wants to kick on his left towards Monaghan. Had to go. Couldn't take the mark, but he'll get a free kick, I think, for front on contact. Umpire Ritchie deeming that he was infringed against, and the former skipper of the Tigers has got it just back of the wing, goes very wide and finds a marking target, Josh Garner. It's a nice little 1-2 punch aerially inside 50 with the two Garners. Now a kick long, looking down there for his brother Adam. Front of the pack, rolling ball. Joffy Simpkin a handball. Bailey Scott tight against the boundary line. Shrugged out of the tackle of Damien McMahon. Got a handball back towards Joffy Simpkin. Handball to Josh Garner. Pulled off his kick. Good defensive play. Burke involved. Now Damien McMahon. Clearing kick. Loftus leads Renich to the footy. Ball got out the back. Won't want to get behind, leave the ball behind here, Colac, because Loftus is quick. Simpkin did really well. That's Lockie. Did well to hold up Loftus. And we'll get a ball up. True centre wing. Maybe just slightly forward favouring the Tigers. Right in front of our best seats in the house. Thanks to the new Benny Jaffel at Apco Cafe 24/7.
So Zybell and Christensen to come from the same side. Down umpire Ritchie throws it in the air. Zybell tried to take it out of the ruck. He couldn't quite, and then he got a left foot kick back. Might be okay. Oh, no. Hillman left it behind. Damien McMahon gets the kick away towards brother Harrier. Goes up off Lockie Simpkin there as well. Through the middle, Loftus trapped it. Got it to Garner off a step. Jared goes towards half forward with the kick, but getting back there, Spokes. That's a better effort, and he's taken the mark. Some weird coloured boots going on out there too today, I can tell you. Spokes with some blue. Saw Damien McMahon with some yellow reptile ones he had on before. Now they move it to Hawker, who's had a good game so far. Colac go forward. They go up, and Garner just came across the front and was able to take it. And this time it's Adam, and he will shoot from the peck pocket for a chance for his second of the afternoon. And he's only going to be about 25 out as he comes off the runway, and this to bring the margin, or bring the game back to level pegging again. So northern end of the ground. Adam Garner comes in, a right foot kick, goal umpire. Doesn't really have to move too far to signal his second of the afternoon. And we're all square here at Anthony Costa Oval again. 5-2, 32 apiece. Harvey Norman, K-Rock's second quarter scoreboard.
Oh, a lot better ball movement by Colac then. That's probably what, they've been playing all year, and you're just starting to see a little bit of it now, because what they did was they changed the angles of the way the ball went into their forward 50, and what that does is it changes the defence. They have to move with the angle of the ball, and it threw them out. So better ball movement, looked a lot better, and that's probably why they've been so successful this year with their ball movement, their change of speed on the ball.
Seventh time this afternoon that scores have been locked together. And we're only gone 6 minutes on the Port Phillip Ferries time clock in this second term. Tapped down by Zybell. McCarthy, the roving, couldn't take it with him. Orgarinos gave the handball up to Blood. Blood gave the handball up. Christensen will send it towards right half forward. The kick that'll bounce at the feet of Loftus. Rennett's attacked it towards the boundary line. Can he keep it in front of him? He can. Taken down in the Loftus tackle. That's holding the ball.
Cool.
It's a wonderful tackle by Loftus. Made him drop the footy with... He's really come along, Kane Loftus, making the most of his opportunities after being fringe in the first season and probably the first half of this year. Coming in from Torquay. Into the pocket he goes for the lead of Dobson. Knocked away by Malikan. Back of the pack, the handball of Walters. Now the clearing kick smothered, but they will get out of trouble through hands to half-back Rennett's. Throws on the left boot. Kick though smothered by Orgarinos. Loftus can't keep it alive in the right forward pocket in front of a good crowd. In front of the Don Matheson Pavilion. We'll see it thrown into play. 7 minutes played. Second term, Port Phillip Ferries time clock. About 48 from goal. It's tossed back in. Zybell winning the fist down. Quick clearing kick from Ben McCarthy. A bouncing ball attacked by Burke, but he knocked into the path for Hillman. Hillman's handball for McDonald. Didn't do him any favours, and McDonald has to see it to the boundary line and out of bounds at the St Mary's coach's box. 5-2, 32 apiece. 1v2, and they can't be separated 7.5 minutes into the second term.
So a boundary throw in. Right in front of the best seats in the house, thanks to Apco Cafe 24/7. Blood rose it at the front. His handball. Garner sort of wasn't waiting for it. Orgarinos was. Then Garner gets wrapped up. That's holding the ball. The umpire is going to say he didn't get rid of that effectively. And McCarthy's going to take the free kick for Colac. Lockie Simpkin wheels past. Gets it on his left, goes towards half forward with the kick, 2-on-2, over the back, Burke. Will it stay in? No, it won't. Boundary throw in. Left half forward for Colac, attacking the northern end in this second term.
We are seeing rotation after rotation after rotation from both teams.
Yeah, Maxie and Scott now going step for step. That's twice this quarter.
Ball back into play for Geelong Insurance Brokers. That head-to-head. Ball got out the back, knocked by Zybell into the path of Monahan, who gave it to Hillman. Hillman, a quick snap over the left shoulder, has missed to the right-hand side. Through for a minor score, and Colac take back the lead at 5-3-33. St Marys 5-2-32. 8.5 minutes played on the Port Phillip Ferries time clock. Check out portphillipferries.com.au. Footy specials, 5 o'clock from Geelong, 11:50 back to Geelong for the Cats and the Pies Friday night at the MCG.
Travellini spears the pass, 50 out. Finds Damien McMahon, takes the mark and plays on now. Just to go down the line. He spears it as well. That's a good kick to Blood. Opens it up a little bit at centre half back, runs through the middle. His handball was good. Maishman, turn of speed as always. Long kick inside. 50. Loftus came at it. Rennett's off the back, did okay. Kick around the corner. That came from Barrow. And then comes back towards defensive 50 for the Tigers. They need to be good here. Barrow gets ripped off the football. There's 3 there, or has he hatched that? The umpire says no. And it will be 8 ball up, 50 from goal for St Marys.
Got a ball in the air. Zybell winning the tap down, trying to hit it at speed is Jared Garner, trying to burst through. Then he jammed it on his left boot. Well, back with the one hand. I think it was out on the full, and if it wasn't, maybe he didn't go 15. It was nonchalant with the one hand. Might have been Lockie Simpkin. It was. And we'll get a boundary throw-in. Left forward pocket. Southern end or swimming pool end of the ground. Ball back into play. Tap down Christensen. Rolling ball. Maishman will track it towards the Geelong pass players stand. He snaps a left foot kick to the goal square. And Jared Garner standing all alone. 15 metres out, just right of centre, a chance to go back and kick his second and restore the Saints' lead.
And nothing like giving one of the best players we've seen in the last 10 years some time and space at the top of the goal square. That's for sure.
Jared Garner playing game 172 by our numbers. He played 43 games and kicked 34 goals for the Tigers. And he's kicked his second of the afternoon. He's closing in on 200 career goals. That's goal 193. Game 172 for the veteran midfielder. And St Marys take back the lead on the second quarter. K-Rock Harvey Norman scoreboard. Think Harvey Norman for all the big brands. At Geelong's best prices, St Marys 6-2-38. Lead Colac 5-3-33.
That's what makes St Marys so dangerous. When you look at them on paper, they've got such a spread and so much flexibility. Their midfielders get involved as well, and when they go forward, they're dangerous. And that's really hard to stop for opposition sides. They do all their homework on their forwards, but it's their midfielders.
We spoke about that yesterday with Leopold, the same, isn't it? Marcus
100%,
Thompson.
Yeah, they can go forward. They've got these players that can go forward and kick goals. That's what makes them so dangerous.
So back to the middle. Christensen, Zybell gets it down beautifully. Monahan right, Harry Benson right in his back pocket. Kick off the ground by Monahan, kicking in danger. St Marys boys made sure the umpire saw that too. Jack Blood goes short with the kick. It's okay. Finds Chalcraft just straight back on the ground. Wants to move it quickly. Inside 50 with the kick. Loftus sets himself. Hamlin Hanger in front. Strong. And takes the mark. And will shoot for goal from 45 out, just left of centre.
You spoke about him before, Kingy, how he's really come on this second half of the season. I think that role where he can have a bit of a pinch hit in the ruck gives him a little bit of freedom to get into the game. And then when he goes forward, he's already in the game, so he's already involved, he's energetic, it's really showing in his footy.
Kane Loftus comes in, 45 out, has sprayed it to the right-hand side.
It's not his kicking.
Through for one behind, did everything except the goal king. So they go to 6-3-39 St Marys, Colac 5-3-33, Harvey Norman, K-Rock. Second quarter scoreboard.
Simpkin, Lockie to bring the ball back into play, playing game 185 this afternoon. We'll drill it to half back to Monahan. It was on a half volley. He couldn't take it cleanly. Chalcraft could on the up. Gave a handball to Damien McMahon. Kicks it back to the top of the square. Dobson got it shoved surely. Umpire didn't see it that way. Lockie Simpkin to clean up. Boundary line there out of bounds. And Sam Dobson may have an argument for the fact he was pushed in that marking contest. And we'll get a boundary throw in now. Next to the right hand behind post, southern end of the ground. St Marys in attack and leading by 6. Front position Christensen won the tap down. Roving Monaghan gave a handball off, or received the handball, I should say, from Simpkin. Now to half back looking for Hillman. 4 players fly. Knocked to the front of the pack. Barrow trying to knock it, rather Dustin Aaron Walters to advantage. Hillman just can't get it to sit. Put his head over it. Rolling ball, Churgwin. He gave a handball to Burke. Burke's kick smothered well by Ben McCarthy, and that's out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. Hillman was like, it was like reaching for a slippery bar of soap. He just kept grabbing and grabbing, and it kept slipping out of his grasp. And we'll get a boundary throw-in just 4 to the wing, favouring the Tigers, who trail by 6 as we approach 13 and a half minutes played on the Port Phillip Ferries time clock.
So throw in Christensen and Zybel. Umpire throws it back into play. Zybel gets his left hand to it. Scott through the middle, and he's not going anywhere. Christensen comes in with blood. Umpire Ganaccia will ball it up just inside the centre square at centre wing. Algarinos right in Baylor Scott's back pocket. Zybel, he can't take it out of the ruck. Monaghan, short little kick only as far as Maishman. The handball came to Chalcraft. He got wrapped up straight away, wasn't going anywhere, and was pushed by Cody Spokes into the ground. So the umpire will come in and ball it up again, just 4 to centre circle for Colac. Zybel, kick off the ground. Through the middle, Lang picks it up. Handball forward is okay. Little kick around the corner now towards the goal square. Adam Garner from behind.
Oh.
Can he pick it up and kick it? Yes. He's the post. He did everything, Adam Garner, that he should have there. Worked his way from behind to get the footy, but unfortunately hit the post. 5-4-34, Colac St Marys 6-3-39.
Damien McMahon, short kick marked by Benson, gave a handball off to the run of Stevens, breaks defensive 50, sends it wide, wanting Dobson. Malikan in his back pocket, was able to win the footy in the mark. That's a good defensive effort. Got the spoil and then claimed the mark when short with the kick, the skipper to Lang. Lang's got McDonald all alone in the middle of Anthony Costa-Oval, but he ignores that. Will kick on his preferred left. Kick inside forward 50, back with the flight. Aaron Walters couldn't get a handle on it. Handball, Josh Garner. Adam Garner. Chance now for Walters, and he's bounced it into the right-hand goal post. So after Adam Garner hit the left-hand goal post, Aaron Walters has hit the right-hand goal post, and the margin is 4. 5-5-35 Colac. St Marys 6-3-39. Second quarter, K-Rock. Harvey Norman scoreboard.
Churgwin kicks it in. That'll be the last time he does that.
Yep.
So out of bounce on the full. Cooper Hayes will bring it back into Garner, who doesn't take the mark, does he? Yeah, he pays the mark. And Adam Garner had enough of that as he came out on a lead. So 45 out from goal, 45-degree angle. He's kicked 2 this afternoon already. And this to give Colac the lead halfway through this second term here. Port Phillip Ferries time clock, 16 minutes played. Adam Garner is providing a bit of a thorn in the side of St Marys here, up forward. Could have had one a couple of minutes ago as he hit the left-hand goal post. Comes in, right foot kick, and across the face of goal and through. 4-1 behind. 2-2 his personal tally this afternoon. 5-6-36 Colac. St Marys 6-3-39. Harvey Norman K-Rock. Second quarter scoreboard. Think Harvey Norman for all your big brands at Geelong's best prices.
Just a couple of little half chances you probably think they need to take, particularly if it goes out the other end now, which they've got the ability to do and score.
Nick Stevens bounces with his left hand after coming out of the defensive goal kick. Square kicks with his right foot off the hands of the pack. Good roving done by Hawker. He snaps a high kick to half forward. Hillman underneath it. Knocked away from him by Burke. Good roving Algarinos. Gave it to Blood under pressure. Kick around the corner. Didn't go 15. Has that been paid a mark? That's surely not a mark. That went about 7.32 metres. And Burke has got it. Geez, a bit stiff. Well, Colac are a bit stiff there, but Burke with it. Right half back. Kick to the wing. Dobson on a searching lead. Won't get to him. He crashes the pack, though. Well picked up by Lang. Handball release. Spokes. Gave it to Monaghan. Monaghan, a short kick looking for the presenting Aaron Walters, who marks 55 out from goal. Turns, kicks quickly, and it's beautiful to Adam Garner. Nothing McMullen could do there as a defender. The delivery was precise from Aaron Walters, and it was just lace out into the waiting mitts of Adam Garner, who is in the play. 2-2, including 1-2 in this second quarter. Chance to give Colac back the lead in this seesawing clash at Anthony Costa-Oval. He's left of centre. Man on the mark stands 35 from goal. And Garner looking for his third of the afternoon. Will kick from 45. It's hung out to the right. That's where it will stay. And through for a minor score. Now 2 goals, 3 for for Adam Garner. And the margin is now 2. They have kicked, by my count, 4 consecutive behinds to go to 5-7-37. St Mary's 6-3-39. 18 minutes played. Port Phillip Ferry's time clock. There's no better way to travel to the footy.
Normal programming restored. Travellini kicks it in this time. Finds Nick Stevens. He goes from the back pocket towards half-back. Garner over the top, Walters. And Jared Garner will take the free kick for over the shoulder. Wanted to go lateral short. He goes lateral. Well, he should have in the end because he's turned the ball over and it comes back with interest inside forward 50 again. Garner, 50 out from goal. Spears it towards the pocket over the head of a couple. Aaron Walters gets back there. Might fall for Zy Bell. He had a look. Can he kick it around the corner? He can, but he misses to the far side and through for one behind. They're certainly peppering the goals. 5 straight behinds now, Colac. 5-8-38. And they're doing it in behind. St Mary's 6-3-39. Harvey Norman K-Rock's second quarter scoreboard.
All very gettable too.
Are they? Yeah.
Travellini out of his defensive goal square, brings it broadcast side. APCO Cafe 24/7. Bond worked Hawker off the footy and took a nice mark. Bond now kicks to the leading Damien McMahon, who comes out and takes it on the chest right in front of our best seats in the house. Sends it to the middle of the ground to Christensen. Well done, Spokes got a hand on it. Knocked it into the path of Bailey Scott, who can burst away and kick to Adam Garner, who's been everywhere. He'll pop up in your soup if you're not careful. Now he turns and kicks, touched off the boot. The handball was partially deflected at Ben McCarthy. Then he had his kick smothered as it deflected back to him. Augurinos was good. Burke gave it to Stevens, who gives a handball to Maishman. Maishman's got it back of the wing out of side for St Mary's. Looks to cut back inboard. Just got it over the head of Scott. Or rather, Walters, I should say. Well played going back with the flight by Jamison, but he's fisted it back towards St Mary's goal, 20 metres. Went and picked up the loose footy, though. Gave a handball, and then a clearing kick. McDonald was good, and Lang's got it, and they held up nicely there, the Tigers.
Best seats in the house, thanks to APCO Cafe 24/7. Lang kicks it just over the head of Garner. Going to work out okay. McCarthy spears it inside 50 and finds Hillman, who runs back and kicks, and will kick from 30 metres out, slide angle.
Well, that wasn't an indiscriminate kick inside forward 50. That was a deliberate lower your eyes kick into some space that Hillman ran into. Terrific kick. They've just got a real good purple patch here, haven't they, the last 6-7 minutes? Colac, where they're keeping ball inside their forward half.
It's got to get a return on the board.
They do. That's what's that, 5 straight, we said, 5 points straight.
Yep. So Luke Hillman, 30 out, slide angle. Got a good look at this too, at the northern end of the ground. He comes in and he has made the goal umpire work, but he's just got it in. So his first of the afternoon. And Colac take the lead. 6-8-44. They lead St Mary's 6-3-39. Harvey Norman, K-Rock, second quarter scoreboard.
Okay, so 5 points straight and adjust.
And adjust,
just
yes.
snuck in. But the difference is the way they've moved the ball. We've seen it in the last probably 10 minutes of this game. The way they've moved their ball movement into their forward half's been a lot quicker, and that hasn't given St Mary's time to flood back and get that defensive structure going, which they've done for the first quarter and a half. So if this is the way the game's going to pan out, then we're in for a cracker for the second half.
Roll there, mate, big roll.
Plenty of advice coming from the St Mary's bench. Ball into the air. Tap down Christensen. Ball hits the deck. Hitting it hard was Ben McCarthy, but his handball hung in the air and Blood was able to fist it forward 15 metres towards forward 50 for St Mary's. Reynolds overran the footy. Jared Walters helped him out. Handball too slick for Simpkin. Chance now, Harry McMahon jamming it on the boot, but missing everything, and it bounces out of bounds in the right forward pocket. Not the worst result. If you're going to not score, you might as well have it bounce out of bounds and get yourself a stoppage in the right forward pocket. Southern or swimming pool end of the ground.
Little fumbly there, defenders in.
Yeah, just couldn't get a handle on it.
Yeah.
Ball back into play. Josh Garner doing the ruck work. He won the tap down. Hitting it at pace was Dowling. Shrugged one tackle, not the second. That should be holding the ball. And it is. As it spilled out in the tackle. And free kick going to Bryce McDonald, wearing the number 6, formerly owned by Liam McCarthy. Brings it wide, looking for Reynolds, but it's got too much on it. It was touched off the boot, in fact, so when it was taken by Sprague, he wasn't paid to mark. He's probably wondering why not, but it was touched off the boot. And we'll get a stoppage right half forward in front of a packed Don Matheson Pavilion here at Anthony Costa Oval. Colac 44, St Mary's 39, 22 and a half minutes played, second term, Port Phillip Ferry's time clock.
Christensen got it away to back to through Garner to Blood. Now Christensen kick the outside of the right foot. Kick for touch nicely, I think, just falls in the field of play, and we will have a boundary throw in. Still 35 around from the St Mary's goal. They trail by 5 points. 23 played, second term. Port Phillip Ferry's time clock. Zybell in the ruck. Down to the front again. Garner Jared, who tracks it back towards the boundary line and sees it over for another throw-in.
6:3:39 St Marys. Colac 6:8:44. 23 minutes played, second quarter, and what has now become a bit of an arm wrestle. Roving done by Hayes for Colac, but he lost. His kick was smothered. Now it's taken by Christensen, who gave it to Loftus. Kick inside 50. Well done by Spokes, who marks. Now he wants the corridor, and Darcy Lang is all alone at the back edge of the centre wicket area. He'll have a bounce. He'll be careful to get a kick inside forward 50 before he's run down. Sets it up for Adam Garner. Ball bounces at the back. It's fisted away, but only into the path of Adam Garner, who tries to get a handball up. Had it knocked from his grasp by Ling. Connors over it, flicked it up. It's a throw. He did flick it up. When you say flicked it up, usually we mean he handballed it, but that was a legitimate flick by Nick Connors. And Adam Garner, who is having some sort of second quarter in terms of finding the footy. He has kicked 1 goal 3 to give him 2 goals 3 for the contest. But this for an 11-point lead. We haven't had the margin in double figures at any stage in this opening half, but this to just open up a little buffer approaching half time for the Tigers. Garner, man on the mark, stands about 40 from goal. He's left of centre. We will need to kick from about 45. He starts at left and it hit the post.
Again.
He's hit that post for a second time in this quarter, about halfway up. They are small goalposts here. And St Marys are quickly onto it with Maishman running onto a loose footy, but he's got company for Hawker and he ran out of bounds. Just he shrugged off the Hawker tackle and was about to get away. So 6-9-45, Colac, St Marys 6-3-39. 2 goals 4 now for Garner. He's kicked 1-4 in this second quarter.
That's good, match.
And the Tigers lead by 6 on the Harvey Norman K-Rock scoreboard.
Boundary throw in. Christensen gets it down onto his own roving work as well and does. Kicks it with the outside of the right foot, close to the boundary line. Hawker. Johnston's there as well for St Marys. Christensen, handball to Chalcraft. Handball running past Benson. Chain of handballs comes towards half forward. Harry McMahon picks it up, missed the target. Monahan is able to pick it up and run the other way for Colac. Goes towards centre half forward. In front, no mark taken. Ball spills free at the back. They might get away here. St Marys, Benson just chips the ball out. Travellini tracked it back from half back, goes to centre wing, takes the mark.
Travellini says, let's just settle things down. Bit going off the footy. Monahan and Benson waging their own private battle for Wombat Gully Plant Farm. Travellini drives a kick towards Dobson, who sets himself full flew and landed awkwardly. It's fallen for Jared Garner. Quick kick inside 50. Johnston will mark on his chest. He's got up Sam Dobson for St John of God. He will come to the bench, but he's okay. But geez, he got sort of Superman, but the back horizontal to the ground.
You go to number 5, okay?
This would hurt Colac, not in terms of the scoreboard, but just hurt that they've had so much play and been unable to convert. And St Marys can go back and have a shot through Dion Johnston, who has started to come into his own in the second half of the season. He's kicked 17 goals now. He's 6th in the competition for tackles, and he'll kick from 45 metres, and he will miss to the left. Through for a minor score. Birchie for South Point Garden Supplies. The breeze, is it doing any? Is it pushing across the ground at all?
There's no real breeze to speak of, no, I wouldn't say. It shouldn't be affecting their kicking for goal.
Thanks, Birchie. And Lockie Simpkins' kick, that didn't come off too well either. Oh, threw the ball away was Maishman, close to the boundary line. Benson wins across there as well. Hawker for Colac. They see it over the boundary line. And we'll have a throw in. Left half forward for St Marys. 27 played in this second term. Port Phillip Ferry's time clock. 5 the difference. Throw in. Zybell tried to thump it away with the big right hand. Comes to Monahan. Pirouettes in the tackle. Simpkin Joffe gives it back to Spokes. Inside defensive 50. Gets around Benson, who came at him. Ball goes towards centre wing. Comes back to half back. Really Monahan for Colac. His handball looped over the top. Didn't really hit anybody. Joffe gets through the middle. Can he get free? Can. Right foot kick to half forward. But getting back there, Churgwin read it the better by himself. Takes the mark for St Marys.
Or into the square. Left half back. Churgwin went to concede inside defensive 50 and will do to Sammy Burke. Burke's about 40 from his defensive goal, northern end of the ground. Looks up and sees 35 players in front of him. So he'll send it to this wing to a one-on-one Loftus. And McDonald. Loftus stood tall, took a good mark, hit the ground running through a tackle of McDonald. Then as he cut back inboard, and then a kick high to half forward, front position Ben McCarthy, spoiled from behind Damien McMahon. Good pick up by the man at the front, Barrow. He gave a handball to Spokes. Spokes, a kick that was okay for Lockie Simpkin, who goes very wide to Hawker, and he's marked just inside defensive 50, the youngster. Hawker wide. Bailey Scott providing the run. Boundary line too close for he and Garner. As Dion Johnston not moving freely. Birchie coming towards you for St John. God, just keep an eye on the helmeted number 17 for the Saints.
I did notice a little bit of that earlier, so yeah, it will be interesting to see whether they do any work.
Throw in. Centre wing on the outer side. Zybell, Benson, and leaves it for Maishman to go on the left foot from centre wing to half forward. As the siren sounds at half time. Colac 6-9-45. St Marys 6-4-40.
Entertaining first half between 1 and 2. The goal scoring dried up a little, both kicking 2 in that second term, but gee, it could have been something else. But Adam Garner, who threatened to tear the game apart, but no, unable to kick straight. He's kicked 1 goal, 4 in that second term, to kick 2-4 personally for the contest, and his team leads by 5 points, 6-9-45, 6-4-40. It's half-time thanks to Garmy Chicken and Beer. That's chicken and beer that's unmissable. Gimme Garmy Warren Ponds. Looks like maybe just a slight injury issue for the Tigers as well. We'll just keep an eye on that. Jane Birch.
Fraser O'Gorman.
Yeah, we haven't caught a lot. It looks like a right hamstring.
Yep.
For Fraser, so we'll keep an eye on that. But Birchie, you're out in the middle for Geelong Sports Medicine Centre, looking to have a chat with one of the Tigers as they come from the ground. We'll let you pull somebody away from the pack to have a quick couple of words. I'm not sure who you're going to grab, but it looks like you've got Lockie Simpkin with you. We'll head down to you. YouTube and see something that, well, once you've seen it, you can't unsee it.
Might bring it back at some stage, Joe.
You still got that car?
The car, the one glove.
Do you know
Might bring it all back.
Do you know what? When Liam proposes to somebody in many years' time and sets a date for the wedding, then grow the goatee for his wedding. How good will they look in the photos?
Some wedding photos. I like it. I should have done it for Riley.
Nice. You should have too.
Third quarter, thanks to Read the Play. It's mental health round. The players have got the colours of Read the Play on their socks. Got the purple for Colac and the white for St Marys.
Haley just messaged me and said, please don't, Kingy.
We're underway. Here's Jace.
Garner gets it from the first ruck contest for St Marys. Orgarinos goes with a kick, kicking to the northern end in this third term. St Marys. Lang gets back there for the Tigers, tries to get it to Spokes, and he gets tackled by 3 St Marys players at once, not going anywhere. The umpire will come in and ball it up just forward to the centre circle for St Marys. Christensen tries to take it out of the ruck contest. Needs some help now through the middle. Bailey Scott got a clearing kick. Back to the middle. Good mark. Charlie Sprague. Hamlin Hanger contender.
Has he gone back behind the
He
footy?
has.
He has.
He's at half
slipped
back.
yeah.
Yep. And seeing the mark, Josh Garner. So Sprague now.
It's probably the only change so far looking at it out there.
Gets more Wombat Gully Plant Farm matchups from Kirsch in a minute. Now St Marys move it through. Blood to Jared Garner off a step. 40 out from goal, straight through the middle. Great start from the home side in this third term. Jared Garner has put his third on the board. And St Marys go to 7-4-46. They lead now. Colac 6-9-45. Read the play. Third quarter scoreboard.
Oh, we touched on that just in the halftime break, funny enough, about how Garner has that ability, or the mids have that ability to go forward and set themselves up in front of goal. That's his second, Garner, and we know what he's like. He's so dangerous. Can't give him any time and space, as we mentioned. But there's already a little bit of a theme with St Marys at the moment. They're going to be really offensive and really attacking, and they're just going to get that ball moving and see if they can enjoy some time in forward half.
In the experts chair this afternoon for the Sporting Globe, Matty Kershaw. Tapped down in the middle, Christensen. Lang being held, tried to soccer it off the ground. Umpire said play on. Benson picked up the loose ball, got it to Christensen. That's a throw almost to Orgarinos, who loops it over the top, wanting Ling but missing him. Lang came through for Colac, tried to knock it to his own advantage on a couple of occasions, but he actually only palmed it into the path of Harry McMahon, who gave it to Connors. Kick around the corner, went straight to Josh Garner. He drives it, looking for his brother. Can't find him. Hands of the pack. Ben McCarthy, handball on the bounce. Aaron Walters, and strolling into goal and hitting the post from 3 metres was Joffy Simpkin. He had it given to him on a platter, and he's done a Ben Worm.
Wow.
7-4-46, 6-10-46. We're all tied up again.
The ball's going to come back inside, forward 50 for Colac. Bailey Scott got it in. St Marys right in the last line of defence. They get the handball over the top to Nick Connors, close to the boundary line. And
Kingy, I just chatted to Rowan McSparron about O'Gorman, and I said to him if Garner had to kick straight, and he said, yeah, if we stop hitting the post. And they've done it again. But O'Gorman won't reappear again. Didn't have specifics, but just said he doesn't have any power through that leg, so he'll be out.
Thank you, Birchie.
It's Birchie, the ball still in dispute in the right forward pocket for Colac. Monahan on the bottom of the pack, and the umpire will come in and ball it up about 15 players around this ball in the right forward pocket for the Tigers. Southern end or swimming pool end of the ground here. Anthony Costa ball zigzags around. Orgarinos tries to get it out. Dangerous. He's gone, I think. Umpire.
Gave him opportunity.
Thought about it. Yes, he did. But we're going to have another ball up. 35 out from the Colac goal. They're 6-10-46. St Marys 7-4-46. All tied up at Anthony Costa.
Josh Garner winning the tap down for Colac. The roving done by Benson, a handball release. They look to get away from inside defensive 50 through Maishman. A handball to Blood. Blood was able to shimmy away and get a little kick to Dowling, who marks back edge of the centre square for St Marys. Looks to send a kick out into space. It's a long ball under the chest of Damien McMahon on a searching lead just forward of the wing. Chips a kick over the top. Blood provided great run. He can give a handball off. Tighten the right forward pocket. Travellini pulls a kick to the top of the square. Not a great kick. Melican judging it best off the boot, as marked on the chest. And he chips a kick into the right back pocket to Hawker. Walker now called to play on. He's going to have to send it along the line to a one-on-one. Bailey Scott and Augurinos. Augurinos went with the one-hand, couldn't mark. Jared Walters front of the pack for Colac. Spokes gave it to Monaghan.
Monaghan now goes towards centre half forward. Over the back of the pack, coming out though the other way was Burke. Did well for St Mary's. Got it to Sprague. He's got Maishman along the wing. He takes the mark. Short kick. He wants to drill it back in towards centre half forward. Beautiful kick on the board to Christensen. 50 out. Goes towards the top of the square. Dobson goes up. Takes the mark, and that's great play, St Mary's, from one end to the other. He's moved the ball beautifully. The kick, exquisite back in the middle to Christensen, and he finished it off with the kick to Dobson. And, in fact, it's Trent McMullen. It is.
Gone forward.
So he has gone forward with Sprague going back. Trent McMullen has gone forward, and he will shoot for goal from 20 out slide angle, this to give St Mary's the lead. Comes in, right foot kick. Goal umpire has no problems this time. He's straight through the middle. So his first of the afternoon, 8 for St Mary's, 8-4-52. They lead Colac 6-10-46. Read the play. K-Rock, third quarter scoreboard.
That's another lost footy, Jace, over in the construction site. $140 goal.
Be on Facebook Marketplace tomorrow morning.
It will be. If you're a young kid, just get yourself behind the construction.
120, 140.
But let's go back to Joey Maishman's kick. That's what changes the ball movement in footy, that change in the angles that I spoke about. He just pulled the trigger then and hit the corridor kick, and it just opened the whole game up, and McMullen has a nice free flow at it.
Bradley Green has informed us, our correspondent who knows all things local footy and VFL footy and Collingwood. The Jed Longmire is John's nephew, and he is from Corowa, which is where the Longmires are from.
So he's Horse Junior.
So we are waiting for
Pony Junior.
Yeah, Pony.
We are waiting for a
footy
to return. 8-4-52 St Mary's, Colac 6-10-46, third quarter. Read the play scoreboard, readtheplay.org.au, raising awareness on youth mental health. Yeah, Read the Play doing a wonderful job. We've got a now footy new for. Look at that new pill, brand new. Look at that. Look at that. That is sticking out like a beacon on a gloomy afternoon. But we found the other one, and umpire Richie says to Jared Garner, who's just barrelled one back to. He hit it perfectly too, back towards the boundary line.
Such a show off, guys.
Runner in the chest. He never got a hand on it. The runner straight in his chest.
So the margin 6 to the good of St Mary's. Slight delay in play. Umpire Richie will throw this one into the air for Christensen and Zybell. Zybell winning the tap down. Benson the roving, but harassed by Lang. Brought to ground. Wonderful tackle. That's holding the ball. No. Umpire says, give it to me. I will ball it up. Edge of the centre square towards the eastern side of the ground where a big crowd has assembled. Tap down Zybell. Roving Ben McCarthy, wrapped up in a tackle by Chalcraft, but got a kick away. Was able to bounce it towards half forward, a rolling ball. Damien McMahon and Aaron Walters back there couldn't take it. Monaghan could, but his hammer went straight to Jared Garner. Spills out of the pack. Aaron Walters tried to knock it out towards Hayes, but didn't make connection. Benson, Chalcraft, Stevens, all very slick hands. Damien McMahon, Jared Garner, back to Damien McMahon. Saints are away. Dobson on a long lead, takes it. Had to stretch to take it, but did so. And he'll go back and have a shot at goal with the man on the mark standing 45 from goal. But just the quality of handball and the slick hands through the middle from the Saints. Kirsch is why they're one of the best teams in the competition.
Well, that's their go-to, isn't it? That's their strength, their run and carry, and their ability to chain out of any situation and get the ball inside forward 50. Now, he averages 6 marks a game inside forward 50, so you know he's having 6 shots at goal. So if they can keep him under 5, they're a chance, but he's a lovely kick of the ball, Dobson.
This for a 12-point lead, and the first time the margin's been in double figures. He sends it on its way. He's hit it beautifully. A wonderful kick from Sam Dobson. He's got 3 and now 40 for the season, and he's given his team a 12-point buffer at the 8-minute mark of the third term. K-Rock, read the play scoreboard. St Mary's are now 9-4-58. They lead Colac 6-10-46. Hope you're enjoying the call on K-Rock 955 and through krockfootball.live.
That's a couple of his goals come from 40, 45 plus. Like, that just shows you that ball didn't deviate at all. His last goal at the other end where he kicked it from a set shot from 50 didn't deviate at all. He's a very good long kick for goal, Dobson. So you think you've got him outside 50 as a shot, and it's a better option, but sometimes it's not for him.
Free kick found against Zybell for a push against Christensen in the ruck contest, so St Mary's will take it. Thought about the handball. He goes with the kick instead, and it's okay. And finds Blood, who goes inside 50 with the kick. Malikan, though, his opposite number for Colac, goes wide in front. Sprague stood his ground, took the mark, and all free kick as he got punched in the back of the head as well. And Charlie Sprague on centre wing on the outer side will just chip the ball short. Chalcraft takes the mark. Loftus runs past for the handball, gives it to him. The Greyhounds are often racing, goes inside 50. Oh, Dobson, it's a training run. That looked like a training drill there. It was just, Dobbo just ran out in front. He just kicked him the footy.
Well, when they move the ball so quick, and like you mentioned before, when they chain out by hands and they move it so quick, the defence can't set up. They're all out of position. They're out of kilter, and that was a prime example, but no one could get in the hole and fill it.
40 out directly in front. Sam Dobson kicked one 45 seconds ago. This for his 4th of the afternoon and an 18-point lead.
And Birchie doesn't want him kicking it because he's all time with Bose.
So Sam Dobson, as Kirsch said, a very nice kick of the football for goal. He comes in, right foot kick, goal umpire does not move. Stands there and says, Sam, you've kicked 4 this afternoon. And that is the 10th for St Marys. 10-4-64. They lead Colac 6-10-46. And that's on the read the play. K-Rock, third quarter scoreboard.
And it's a little bit of a difference, isn't it, between the second quarter and the third quarter when you mark inside forward 50 and Garner kicks 2 goals, 4 for the game, 1-4 and a quarter, to Dobson, you know, just slotting them from 45 with ease. So that's the difference. You're taking your opportunities inside forward 50, and Colac certainly didn't in that second quarter.
Back in the middle, Zybell. They need to find a response here, Colac, but they're not going to find it straight away from the middle. Benson trying to dive on the footy. Hawker's buffeted off it and diving in and working hard is Maishman. And we'll get a ball up. It is forward to the centre circles, just off the cricket wicket area. For the Tigers, Zybell. Christensen to go at it again. Zybell winning the tap down. Rolling ball row by Maishman. Spun out of the tackle of Ben McCarthy. Put a handball into the path of Connors, but missed him. Joffrey Simpkin. He might have gone onto the ball for the moment. Left foot kick towards half forward, and coming up, taking the mark is Aaron Walters. Quickly gives off a handball, but he missed Joffrey Simpkin with it. He'll try and pick it up now. Simpkin on the left boot. Snapped it around the corner into the pocket. Josh Garner, or Hillman, I should say, had his kick smothered. And now the clearing kick of Loftus to half back was touched off the boot. Big Christensen playing like a rover. Handball back to Damien McMahon. Barrels it forward, a bouncing ball. Bond is also forward of the ball after being back early. He and Jared Walters see it out of bounds, and we'll get a boundary throw in. At true centre wing, out of sight of the ground. St Marys with an 18-point lead now. Gone whack, whack, whack. Garner, McMullen, and then Dobson twice. And down in Hobart, North Melbourne lead, 56-52. Can they cause a big upset like the Hawks did over Collingwood yesterday?
Boundary throw in centre wing. Both ruckmen get a hand to it. Chalcraft tracks it towards the boundary line. Goes back with Monaghan. They run out of room though. And it will be a boundary throw in. On the outer side centre wing position. Boundary umpire ready to do some work. 18 points of difference here, St Marys, with a fast start in this third term. Zybell with a double-fisted a Monaghan at the front. He goes with the kick. No mark taken, but Garner was good. Josh gets it around the corner, but in front, taking the mark and then playing on. They can run away, St Marys, and break free and go across half back. They go with the kick wide. Bond has made a bit of space in front of Walters. Takes the mark. Now Dobson on a lead. Spears it to him. Dobbo takes the mark. 50 out from goal. And not much to kick to. He's got Harry McMahon there, and then floating back. Paddy Dowling short. But I think Kirsch will want him to go back. No, he was going to go with the pass now, and why wouldn't he? Because Churgwin goes up, can't take the mark off the pack. Jared Walters at the back for Colac. Under pressure to Spokes. His kick was partly smothered close to the boundary line. Runs out, and St Marys good defensive pressure forward of the footy. And we'll have a boundary throw in about 35 around from their goal.
Left forward pocket. St Marys in attack and looking to further ram home this advantage with the 5th consecutive goal in this third quarter of action. Zybell grabbed it out of the ruck, grabbed by Christensen. Ball spilled back to him, one-on-one. Stevens just too tall for Simpkin. That's Joffrey now kick inside 50 over the head of Dowling. Bouncing ball eludes Blood. Handball away to Hawker for Colac. Just inside defensive 50. He's kicked too much on it for Hillman. Harry Ling will track it back towards the boundary line. Handball back to Benson. Just got it to him. Then it was stolen from his grasp by Bailey Scott, but then he was brought to ground. Travellini, Stevens, Benson, a handball received. He's got it on the outer wing. Short kick okay. Blood marks between wing and half forward out of side.
So Jack Blood Drives it long, inside 50. Dobson from behind, can't take the mark at the front. Colac get it away, scrambling kick. Monahan might be okay. Great mark at the bootstraps. McDonald plays on now, goes towards centre half forward with the kick. Over the back, Stevens did well for St Marys, just has to hold the ball up. Needs some support. Oh, he got it over the shoulder. And that will be a free kick. And Joffe not too happy giving away the free kick at centre half forward for Colac.
Just keep an eye on Sam Dobson. Birchie, I think he landed awkwardly again after that marking contest for St John of God. I think the physio trying to get to him. Stevens, or Benson all alone in the centre circles. Confronted by Josh Garner, but a handball release to Sprague. Sprague, and here's Doug Bond marking virtually all alone, 40 metres out, right of centre. And they're picking the eyes through the Colac defence at the moment of the Saints. And Doug Bond a chance to go back and make the margin 24 points. Dougie Bond playing game number 9. He's kicked 95 goals in his career, which has been a little bit stop-start in recent times due to injury. Missed all of 2022. And the Deniliquin product with the man on the mark. He's called to play on 40 from goal, and he's drilled it. Geez, he's given a good piece of it, Doug Bond. That's a nice finish for his first of the afternoon. And they're pulling away, going to 11-4-70 St Marys. Colac a 6-10-46 as we've gone 15 minutes in this third quarter. K-Rock, read the play scoreboard. Check out readtheplay.org.au, raising youth mental health awareness.
We mentioned that just as the game was about to recommence in this third quarter that we'll see St Marys come out a little bit more offensively, and that's exactly what we've seen. Not only speed with their ball, but every time they get ball in hand, they're playing on, or they're taking the game on. Their handball receives have gone up, so they've really got a concerted effort to get that ball moving and move it quick, which obviously shifts the defence of the opposition, and that's really tearing them apart at the moment.
Ever since Simpkin missed that sitter of a goal, they've kicked 4 straight, St Marys.
Through the middle, Zybel does his own roving work for the ruck contest. Sprague has been a revelation across half-back in this third term. Takes another mark. He's third for the quarter. He goes out wide with the kick. Give him a wrap. That's what happens. He turns the ball over. Zybel takes the mark easily on centre wing. Plays on now. Wants to drive it long inside 50. Needs a mark. Didn't get one. And who is it again? Sprague.
Yep.
Who reads it the better. He chips the ball across towards Nick Stevens, who will run it from defensive 50.
Sends it towards the outer wing, standing all alone, Big Christensen. He's having a good afternoon, holding his own against Zybel. Comes inboard to Benson, who marks. Benson's got it just forward of the wing. He's got options queuing up, including Orgarinos. Gives a handball to Loftus. Steps through the tackle of Lang. Then he runs towards 45 metres. Pulls the trigger on a long ball. That would have been one of the goals of the year. But he's missed to the right, the Greyhound, and through for a minor score. And they lead by 25. They have nearly put this game to bed. 11-5-71. Colac 6-10-46 on top of the ground. The Saints at the 16 3/4 minute mark of the Port Phillip Ferries time clock.
Rennett's kicked it back in. And Simpkin, Lockie couldn't take the mark. Free kick. And come back to Colac, so they're going to get a bit out of trouble through Malikan, who goes short to Monahan at defensive 50. Rennett's running past, he goes into the middle. Walters gives it to Rennet, who followed it up right through the middle of Anthony Costa, goes towards half forward. They can go on Nick Stevens. Him and Sprague just got raffle numbers down there, and he takes the mark at half back, goes to centre wing with the kick. Bit of space out there. Garner actually hit Zybel on the back of the head. Now Chalcraft gives it by hand. Christensen runs away. 2 bounces. Handball over the top. Drew a player. Now McMullen off a step from 50 towards Dobson, who goes up. Can't take the mark off the side of the pack. Colac under pressure again. Oh, Walters kicks it out. In fact, it might have been Barrow, I think. Kicks it out of bounds on the full, and it's going to come back with interest from St Marys.
It hit the line.
Did it?
It hit the line, and being a skill error, you can't pay that as insufficient intent. His intention was just to get it out of there, but it's actually hit took a little Wimbledon-style puff of chalk. Ooh. And we'll get a boundary throw in just outside 50, left half forward for the Saints. Ball back into play. Christensen winning the tap down, Bench in front of the pack. He wants through that to Jared Garner, who under pressure lost it in the tackle. That should have been holding the ball, wasn't paid. Monahan, Lang for Colac through traffic, gave it to Zybel, standing start. Looped a handball over the top to Jared Walters. Had time to just pull it in, then gave it to Scott. Hit it at stride, but Orgarinos tracking him step for step. Put pressure on the turned over the handball. Ling, Loftus, Bond can give it back to Loftus. He's confronted, got the kick away. Dobson, good defensive spoil. Came Melican across the front of the pack. Rennett's will want his left boot, gets it and puts it onto the chest of McCarthy. I love the octane, high-speed footy that St Marys want to play.
So McCarthy goes short to Cooper Hayes at half-back. Tigers, short little kick to Jared Walters. He's got Lang over the top. He goes to him. Front of the best seats in the house thanks to Abco Cafe 24/7. Fade the handball to McCarthy. Needs somebody at half forward now. He just chips the ball short to Joffe. Simpkin just takes the mark, wheels and goes quickly. He goes towards Garner. Oh, a couple of St Marys players go in the contest. Still at half forward for Colac. Breaking free, Simpkin got it away to Lang, got his hands free. Kick over the top was smart. Hayes followed it down, takes the mark at right half forward.
55 from home, front of the Don Matheson Pavilion. Fantastic crowd on a Sunday afternoon. He just sets it up into the pocket. Where's Josh Garner? He flies, but he can't take the mark, and it's off hands and out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. He's played every game since debuting against Grovedale when he took one of the marks of the year on debut, Josh Garner. And we love watching him fly out at Harris Jennings sort of style. Ball back into play from behind. Zybel won the tap down. Lang the roving, Lang the snap, just can't get the bend that he wanted, and it's through for a minor score for the Tigers. It's their first score since early in this third quarter. We've now gone nearly 20 minutes and the margin back to 24. They're 6-11-47. They trail St Marys 11-5-71. Third quarter, K-Rock read the play scoreboard.
So Travellini to kick it in again for St Marys. Southern end of the ground. Plays on. Kicks to the middle of the ground. Great kick. Harry Benson by himself. How do you get the Matheson medalist free like that? He goes through the middle. Harry Ling. He goes to an open half forward flank. Dobson. Oh, trapped was okay, but Malikan was in his back pocket. Ball spills free. Comes back towards McCarthy. Now comes out Maishman. Kick around the corner was great in the middle. Chalcraft. He's got McMahon on the overlap. Damien goes for 50 now. He loves the goal on the run. 45 out. Dobson standing on the goal line. And he touched it and or missed it. McMahon actually missed the goal and through for one behind. So good build up again from the home side. 11-6-72. They lead Colac 6-11-47. Read the play. K-Rock third quarter scoreboard.
That's why Damien McMahon's such a good winger, because he held his width and held his ground, and Cooper Hayes got sucked into going defensive, or too defensive and too deep.
There's going to be a free kick. I think the umpire misblew the whistle. He made the signal, but the whistle, the P didn't fire. It'll be a free kick to Hawker at right half back. They need a goal before three-quarter time to Colac to get back into this contest. They trail by 25. Oh, big fly Adam Garner, but couldn't mark off the hands of the pack. Monahan hit it at speed. Kick inside 50. Jamison couldn't take it cleanly, but Travellini would. He got a handball back towards Loftus. He go back to Travellini. Left back pocket. Wants the corridor and finds his skipper in Blood. Blood goes wide. Chalcraft is marked just inside defensive 50. Seeing a bit of it this afternoon. He has a bounce and he trots off at right half back. Fires a handball over the top. Big Christensen's finding a lot of the footy and now kicking to centre half forward. Looking for the stretching Churgwin. He's got it 55 from home. Turns and sets it up to the goal square. Dobson front position. Oh, it was stolen. Actually, it was stolen by Dobson. The front position was McMullen, I think. Or was it Jared Garner? It was Jared Garner. And off the hands of the pack, Dobson stole it, kicked his fifth and takes back the lead in the GFL goal kicking. He's got 42 for the year. He's closing in on 150 for St Marys. And the lead now is out to 31 points. 6 consecutive goals for the Saints. 12-6-78. Colac 6-11-47. Third quarter. K-Rock read the play scoreboard.
I like the way they transition from their back half. They can attack the corridor when they have to, and if they haven't got nothing on the corridor, they use the width of the ground and they make it big, and they've just got numbers everywhere. It creates some overlap and they get into their forward half so quickly, and that's the danger. We've said it so many times throughout the call that they've got so many options. You've got to remember, Paddy Dowling's having no influence in this game at all. Dustin Walters has taken him right out of the game, so wait till he starts to get involved and this game could open right up.
Melbourne by 10 points for Leopold Sporties.
Christensen in the middle, got it down, but Bailey Scott roved it for Colac. Kicks the outside of the left boot towards centre wing Hayes. He needs Hillman in support. He runs out of room, and it's out of bounds for a throw in front of the scoreboard, which has changed dramatically since half time. Now 31 points to the good for St Marys. 23 minutes played. Port Phillip Ferries time clock this third term. Port Phillip Ferries, there's no better way to travel to the footy. A ruck contest. Christensen fell over. and then gets wrapped up straight away by Josh Garner having a run in the ruck, and the umpire will come in and ball it up on centre wing.
Melbourne 66, North Melbourne 56 in Hobart, so normal transmission resumed there. There's going to be a free kick in the ruck contest. It's going to go against Josh Garner to Big Christensen. He's had some sort of afternoon. I really like the game of the young big man from St Marys. Held his own against Zybell in the ruck. Gives a handball off. Nick Stevens just cruising from behind. Says, give it to me and I'll hoist it long. Towards right half forward. Churgwin there goes with the one hand off the hands of the pack. Ben McCarthy. A handball back towards a teammate who he found there in Jared Walters. He gave it to Bailey Scott, and Scott ran into trouble and was brought down in a tackle. We'll get a ball up between wing and half forward by Ganaccia to put the ball into the air. Josh Garner winning the tap down. Little handball out the side door to Christensen. Came from Blood, but Colac going to come up with it through Hayes. Tries to shrug off Connors. Lay the tackle Connors, but not before the handball away. And the boundary line is going to win out as Blood run out of room. And just forward of the wing, favouring Colac out of side. We'll see the ball tossed back into play. But they have some work to do, Colac. They trail by 31 after leading by 5 at half-time.
So throw in Josh Garner for Colac up against Christensen. Got his hand to it, Christensen, and then did the tackling, but Spokes got away from him for the Tigers. Goes towards half forward. Adam Garner can't trap it. St Marys with the numbers behind the ball. Comes towards Adam Garner again. He flicked it out the back to McDonald. Now the kick towards full forward. Oh, Sprague again against Zybell. Great mark, Hepland hanger. And he goes wide with the kick.
Into the left back pocket, Travellini turns and kicks a squirting ball on the bounce. Chalcraft did a little don't argue on Spokes. A handball on the bounce. Bond to the release to Connors. Gobbled up by Aaron Walters and taken out of bounds. And we'll get a boundary throw in the little dust bowl that's formed around the St Marys bench. Ball will come back into play. Josh Garner to do the ruck work. Christensen the tap down, then did his own roving, jammed it on the boot, but only managed to put it on the chest of Walters, who gave a handball off to Simpkin. That's Lockie giving it to Joffe. Kick on the bounce, went through both Hillman and Ling. Out the back, Stevens cleans up. Neat little kick for Harry McMahon. He had to stretch a little bit, but didn't halt his momentum. Now he's kicked for Dowling, who just on a laconic lead marks, and then a scything ball for Chalcraft. Here's a beautiful field kick, Paddy Dowling, and that barely went 8 foot off the ground, and it travelled at speed. And Cade Chalcraft has marked, and another chance to extend this lead for St Marys.
What happened there was Colac brought an extra number up into the stoppage, which gave St Marys the +1 behind and kicked it straight to him, and away they went. Moved the ball again with ease.
Chalcraft, 3 games at VFL level for the Cats this year. Just the 2 goals for the Saints in 2023. Kicks from right on 50, gives it a really good roost, but in going for extra distance has pulled it that far that he's put it out of bounds on the full, and the free kick will go to Reynolds in the right back pocket for Colac. Colac 6-11, they're 47. St Marys at 12-6, 78. 27 minutes almost played in this third quarter, thanks to Read the Play.
So Reynolds, last line of defence for Colac. Hoists as far as he can to halfback. Garner in front, Spokes uncontested for the Tigers. Takes the mark. Wants to move it quickly through the middle. Looks for Hillman. Cut the angle, did well. Took the one hand, got it out towards Hayes. Has to sit and wait. Gave it back to Hillman. Runs through centre wing. Right foot kick. This is where they're breaking down. There's a 2-on-1. Sprague gets across there to help Loftus. And St Marys again with the numbers and see it over the boundary line for a throw in. Not much at half forward for Colac at the moment, is there?
No, that's where they're breaking down. Just that conduit. You know, they need that head up half forward that's not there. Maybe a Jared McCormack type would have been handy if you could play him forward in a game like today.
Boundary throw in. Sprague up against Zybell. Zybell gets it down. Jamison kick towards Lang. Traps it. Wrapped up straight away. Look at that. There's 4 St Marys players around him and holding the ball. Gee whiz, he didn't really have that much of an opportunity, but the umpire says, Darcy, you got to give the ball back. Harry Benson will take the free kick.
One rule I can't explain, Jace. Every umpire has a different interpretation of it all.
Benson, right back pocket, sends a long high ball into the direction of Christensen in a one-on-one with Josh Garner. Ball gets out the back and it runs out of room for Lockie Simpkin to keep the ball alive. 28.5 minutes played. Port Phillip Ferries time clock. There's no better way to travel to the footy. We're here for APCO Cafe 24/7 and the new Benny Jaffel ham, cheese, egg and hollandaise. You can't go wrong with the Benny Jaffel. Shallow throw in, tapped down Josh Garner, went away from Spokes. Ben McCarthy had his handball smothered. It went back to him and then fell for Spokes. He gave a handball off to Lockie Simpkin. Lockie Simpkin's kick up the chimney, went over the head of Bailey Scott, had no real influence on this contest. Chalcraft leads the race to the footy. Did okay to knock it to his own advantage, but he threw it off towards Hayes, who gave it to Jared Walters. Jared Walters, top of the square. Adam Garner off the hands of the pack. There's numbers for Colac, including Rani Jamison, whose kick was partially smothered. Adam Garner a handball. Here's Jamison now with a left foot snap. Will it have the carry? Yes! Much needed goal for the Tigers, and now push and shove at the top of the goal square. Hillman involved, but there's a goal for Rani Jamison. He's averaged a goal a game since coming in from Elvie. The late inclusion today for Will McLaughlin on Falcons duties. And that's their first of the third quarter, and pulls the margin back to a little bit more manageable, 25 as we approach three-quarter time. Colac 7-11-53 on the Read the Play K-Rock scoreboard. St Marys 12-6-78.
There's no fluency going into the forward half, and there's certainly no structure in their forward 50 at that entry. But sometimes a chaos ball and a bit of ugly goals helps you get back in the game, and they really needed that one.
They need one more.
They do, but that was a hard way of getting it, wasn't it?
Melbourne by 15.
It's hard work.
Back to the middle, Christensen and Zybel. Zybel beautiful to Lang. Again gets free and goes with a right foot kick inside 50. No mark from Joffe. Falls to Garner, pushing the back, is it? Umpire Ganaccia says it is. Oh, and Joffe will take the free kick. The umpire's already called for a free kick, and Harry Benson is getting involved with a few people here.
He's a big boy, Garner. I'm not sure if I want to be getting up and slamming into the ground.
So, after the three-quarter time siren, Joffe Simpkin has got the ball.
Probably beyond him, is it, you think?
Test his oldish hamstrings, which...
Aging,
yes. Good word.
Aging hamstrings. Here's 53 from goal.
Got to go with a big torp here, doesn't he? Surely.
Oh, Zach Tui it up.
Oh, has to.
Southern end of the ground. Joffe. Right foot kick. And kicks into the man on the mark. And Nick Connors told him all about it too. So, three-quarter time. St Marys 12-6-78. They lead Colac 7-11-53.
It was a 5-point Colac lead at quarter time, or at half-time, I should say, but St Marys have banged on 6 goals to 1, including 3 to Sam Dobson to give him 5 for the contest, and the lead back in the leading goal-kicking award for the GFL. 12-6-78 St Marys. Colac 7-11-53. He's got 42 for the season now as the superstar from Koroit. We'll take a break. Back with the big last quarter from here at Anthony Costa Oval. Thanks to APCO Cafe 24/7 and the all-new Benny Jaffel. Live, breathe, K-Rock footy.
Yes.
Good to see St Joseph's recruit Luke Webb, just keeping an eye on GFL action this
Real
afternoon.
reptile.
Yeah.
Hey, have a look at him.
He spent the year at Strathfield, say, in the Bendigo League, but we've got it on a good authority. He's playing at St Joseph's next year.
Straight out of the horse's mouth.
Yeah. We don't start rumours. We just make them happen.
We generate.
Ronnie's got a contract. He's over the other side of the ground.
Players in position, crowd off the ground. Great crowd here on a Sunday afternoon. Weather's been ideal. It's a little bit chilly, a bit overcast, but no rain and barely a breath of wind here at Anthony Costa Oval. Just waiting for the last parts of the crowd to find themselves behind the fence, and we'll get action underway with St Mary's leading by 25 points and in the box seat to take top spot with 3 rounds to play. And you would suspect with their run home, Lara, South Barwon and Bell Park, they'll start very warm favourites in 2 of them, and South Barwon they'll also start as favourite, but no doubt be challenged by. They will claim the minor premiership and start from the second semi-final. Final term, thanks to Barwon Foods. Here is Jace.
Zybel gets it down. Darcy Lang through the middle. Right foot kick towards centre half forward. Great trap. And that gets it back to Zybel. Goes over the top. Hayes can't take it. Damien McMahon stood there for St Mary's. Kick around the corner. Back to the middle. Dowling tried to trap it. Couldn't. Then could. And gets away. Can he? No. Walter's right next to him. He got the handball free, but only as far as Bailey Scott. His handball out further afield. They've got some space. Aaron Hawker goes from centre wing. Wasn't a great looking kick, but got the desired result. Now Walters from Lang inside 50. They have to move the ball pretty quickly here. Nick Stevens across half back for St Mary's. Handball towards Ling and back to Stevens. He might be out of trouble. Can he get around? He can. Right foot kick short. Harry McMahon can't take it. Walters gets wrapped up straight away. And we're going to have a ball up. So good result for St Mary's in the end.
Any changes, anything Colac have done?
No changes whatsoever at this stage. I was just looking at the Dustin Walters and Dowling matchup and how good Walters has been, and Dowling was a little bit injured after that contest, but he's got up okay.
Zybel grabbed it straight out of the ruck, but his left foot kick is going to bounce out of bounds after being touched off the boot, and we'll get a boundary throw in right half forward for the Tigers. Need to make every post a winner if they're to pull this one from the fire, the visitors. St Mary's 12-6-78, Colac 7-11-53, 1.5 minutes played on the Port Phillip Ferries time clock in this final term of action. From behind, the tap down, Zybel, the roving by Benson, though, for St Mary's. He drives it to half forward, judging it best going back with the flight. Mark taken it by McCarthy. He goes short, and the mark taken by Scott, who gives it off to Lockie Simpkin, who drills it to half forward. Jamison coming up, stretched and took a nice mark. He quickly turns and kicks. Simpkin tries to turn his man inside out. The ball's going to spill for Hillman. Handball over the top. Surely Garner. Adam kicks this, and he does. So nice finish there as he kicks his third. Not the finish because it was a simple one in the goal square. I should say it was Dustin Walters who started all that back there with the mark, not McCarthy. Very similar of build.
They are.
But Dustin Walters is rocking the left shoulder tape. Garner would love to have had one like that in the third quarter, in the second quarter I should say, but he's got 3 goals, 4 for him, and the margin is back to 19 points, and we're well and truly got a contest here at Anthony Costa Oval.
I was still nervous for him, even though he was in the goal square. But coming back to that contest, I just mentioned it previously, how good a job he's doing on Dowling. He's just got to keep that up for another quarter.
Zybel through the middle, gets it to Bailey Scott, who's trying to ignite the Tigers. He goes towards half forward with the kick. Joffe comes out. Nick Connors right next to him, sees it over the boundary line at left half forward for the Tigers. We'll have another boundary throw in.
But the last 2, Max Orgarinos has started on the wing, and he's coming in to pick up Scott in transition. But I think he has to probably start with him now because Scott's had 4 possessions already in this last quarter and 2 clearances.
Boundary throw in, left half forward for the Tigers. Zybel from behind, won the tap down, tried to put it into the path of Lang. Head over the footy, Ling did okay for give it all Orgarinos. Now the clearing kick, Jared Garner for St Mary's to the wing. Sherglin just said, I'll take this, thanks very much, in a pack of 4, and took the grab. Called to play on now, steps around, Jared Walters cuts back inboard, sends a floating ball inside forward 50. Melican, the defensive spoil for Colac, but Blood hit it at pace at the front of the pack. Handball release, falling over Jared Garner, got to his feet, slung by his former teammate in Monaghan. Got it to Bond. Bond wrapped up, and that is holding the ball. Gee, Bond a bit stiff.
I'll say.
What else could he have done?
Wow, gee whiz.
And the free kick will go to Cody Spokes inside defensive 50. I keep forgetting there's actually 3 premiership players from Colac out there today, and one of them is Jared Garner.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Lateral kick to Rennett's at half back, goes to centre wing, creates some space on the wing. They can run free. McCarthy takes the mark, wants somebody to come at him. It's Joffe. He goes over the top. Walters. Aaron plays on from 40 metres out, spears the ball into the pocket, and good mark, Josh Garner. 2 grabber, takes it in the Paul Peck pocket.
Hang on.
Well, it's a difficult kick for most people except Lockie Peck, this
That's
kick.
right.
But it is deep in that pocket.
So Josh Garner has kicked 1 this afternoon. Adams kicked 3. Comes in, right foot kick, doesn't muck around, straight through the middle. His second of the afternoon. Josh Garner after a great mark, great transition of the football. And 9-11-65 Colac. They cut the margin to St Marys 12-6, 78 Bowen Foods K-Rock final quarter scoreboard.
Well, we said they're going to have to hit the scoreboard and hit it early. They've kicked a double up in the first 4 and a bit minutes, so they've got their game back on as well. And again, it started from their back half, a little bit of defence and then defence into attack, and they got that ball in quickly. But there was still not as much movement because the ball carrier was still calling for someone to come at him. They just had a little bit of fortuitous luck that he marked it out the back and Walters in the way he went. But hey, you've got to be in it to win it, and Colac have got that quick ball movement back again.
Melbourne by 28 points at 3/4 time, 14-7 to 9-9 over North Melbourne down at Blunston Arena in Hobart. Just waiting for the Sharon to return. Bowen Foods selling the freshest fish direct to you. Donga Road, North Geelong. Their freshly shucked oysters are to die for at Bowen Foods. Bill and all the team.
He loves it. He loves an oyster.
Does. Bring your own shucking machine.
BowenFoods.com.au. They are the wholesaler to all the big restaurants in town. They get their freshest fish from Bowen Foods. Zybel will go at it again against Christensen. Umpire puts it in the air. Zybel winning the fist down. Ball bouncing into the path of Algarinos. Got out of the tackle of Bailey Scott. Blood couldn't, but he got a handball away to Christensen, who gave it to Sprague. Been really good down back in this second half. A long ball to a one-on-one. Dowling, and he's strong this time in front of Dustin Walters and took the mark. Man on the mark stands 49 from goal. Dowling will send it towards the goal square, and Dobson! Hamlin hanger contender! Hung onto it long enough, and he's hit the ground hard again. Not for the first time today, where Dobson has flown for a mark and landed really heavily, and this one is a little bit slower to get up from, but this to put a bit of a pin in the bubble that Colac had created. He's going to be on a very tight angle, according to the umpire. Didn't take it in the square. If you take it in the square, you get sent straight back. So he must have taken it just outside of the square. So he's being pushed around on the angle. This should still be elementary for Sam Dobson. For half a dozen. Steps out, snaps, goals. Margin back out to 19. 6 for Sam Dobson. 4 in this second half. And they go to 13-6-84 in the K-Rock final quarter. Bowen Foods scoreboard. Colac 9-11-65.
Just that Walters and Dowling contest. He's been so good all day, Walters, on Dowling, and Dowling's had minimal influence on this game, but it was just that little bit of separation, that little bit of body that Dowling got on him. It was only half a metre, and that's all he needs. And that penetrating kick to the most dangerous spot on the ground, which is the goal square, that was unbelievable, and a great mark by Dobson to boot. And that's what St Marys can do, carve you up in 3 possessions.
You ready to go?
So back to the middle. St Marys with a crucial goal there through Sam Dobson, his 6th of the afternoon. Christensen goes up. Zybel gets it down. Blood. Walters is there. Gives it away to Lang. The don't argue. It didn't work, the don't argue, though, this time. Kane Loftus was right there.
Is that holding the
That's
ball?
holding
It's
the
an
ball.
opportunity to get rid of it, isn't it?
Yep. So ball up, forward to the centre circle. Zybel takes it out for Colac. Goes wide with the kick. McMahon has to track it and comes across towards McDonald. Sees him, he and the football over the boundary line. And by the boundary throw in. 8 played, final term. Port Phillip Ferry's time clock. And it is 13-6-84 St Marys. Colac 9-11-65.
Zybel and Christensen, as they have done for a majority of the afternoon, will engage at the boundary throw-in. Zybel front position, went the double fist to forward, only went as far as Benson, lost it in the tackle. Christensen, slick hands, Jared Garner, quick kick forward for St Marys. Rolling ball, Bond picked it up nicely, handball release, wonderful to Churgwin. Churgwin 55 from goal, sends it in the path of Dobson again. Chance to go back and kick number 7. And the crowd in full voice too in front of
with Doug Bond's hands there.
That was elite. Doug Bond.
amazing.
Well, we had all sorts of pressure coming from him from all angles.
Front, back,
north,
behind,
east,
everywhere, yeah.
west, south, all coming at him. And he got his hands free to give that handball to the front and square. It was superb.
Sam Dobson for his 7th of the afternoon, and maybe he's got a couple of hands on the Leopold Sporties $100 voucher and the Steamatic standout. Turned the game on its head. Looking for his 5th of the second half. Oh, he shanked that badly to the left and threw for a minor score.
That was his easiest one.
One of, and the margin is 20 points. 13-7-85, Colac 9-11-65, and the Tigers breathe a sigh of relief at the 9.5-minute mark on the Port Phillip Ferries time clock of this final term.
Lockie Simpkin plays on, kicks it as far as he can, which didn't go that far in the end. And Darcy Lang took the mark fortuitously. He gets it wide. Rennitz back to the middle, spears the pass to Spokes. Want to try and move it on at all costs. He tried to give the handball away, and he's just holding it up now on centre wing. Called to play on. He chips the ball short to Walters. He plays on. Jared Walters goes towards half forward. Good kick,
geez,
great mark,
had to be
Joffe. He's 65 from goal. He pops it up towards Garner. He can't take it. Benson wants the clearing kick for St Mary's. Back towards the middle. Doesn't sit for Dowling at the back. Monahan, handball out further. Missed the target though. Coming the other way was Maishman. He needs Dowling in support. He turned around and asked for a free kick for a trip. He didn't get one. And we'll have a boundary throw in on the half-forward flank on the outer side with Colac into attack.
I don't think they can let them goal again.
No.
They need to kick 4 unanswered, Colac, if they were to steal this one. Boundary throw in right half forward for the Tigers. Zybel grabbed it out of the ruck, snapped a left foot kick, a high kick up the shot tower it goes. Sitting underneath that is Aaron Walters. He got a hand on it, couldn't mark. Stevens front of the pack, 2-man tackle, dumped by both Josh Garner and I think at the bottom of that, Cody Spokes. And we'll get a ball up about 45 out from the Colac goal. They are coming with a rush. Breeze has just got up slightly. Keep an eye on that, Birchie, for South Point Garden Supplies. Zybel winning the tap down. Spokes, that has really got up, in fact. Spokes got a handball on the bounce that Maishman was able to take, but St Mary's went to come inboard, but then went outboard with a kick that barely went 15 and is marked by Stevens. Birchie, that breeze, is it going to favour either end of the ground or is it blowing across?
I think it's blowing across at this point in time, but potentially the northern end slightly.
Yeah, the kicker Stevens does hold up in the breeze. Churgwin came up, couldn't mark on his chest. Front of the pack, Dowling was able to shrug the tackle, have a bounce at left half back for the Saints, and then kick to the wing to a one-on-one. Harry McMahon, although went over his head and Bond was unable to complete the mark before it. Now we're going to have a consultation between the boundary umpire and the field umpire. Boundary umpire signalled that it was out of bounds. Now, if it's out of bounds, it's either out in the full or a mark, and the mark has been paid to Doug Bond, and Bond has got it below the scoreboard that shows a 20 points to Mary's lead, thanks to Bowen Foods.
So the ball now with Chalcraft, who got it from Bond, left half forward, holds up in that breeze into the 50, punched away by Rennitz. The front of the pack, that should be a push in the back. The umpire said no. Spokes right into the back of Jack Pludd. The umpire will come in and ball it up. So still deep into attack for St Mary's. I'm going to have a ball up left half forward. Kane Loftus giving Christensen a chop out on the ruck for St Mary's. Zybel gets it down. Benson, handball backwards. Maishman on the boundary line. He kicks it back to the top of the square. Running across is Walters. In fact, it's Barrow for Colac. Rennitz did well. Well, the umpire, what's he done?
Bit going on in the
back pocket, forward pocket, wherever. Barrow. And who is down on the ground with him? Gets up. I think it's Churgwin who gets up. So is it going to be a free kick to Colac? I think it is. It's going to come back to Seb Barrow in the last line of defence for the Tigers.
Barrow. A little bit of late treatment.
Wants the corridor. Oh, no, Lang slipped over and Orgarinos cut across and took the mark. All those whistles going everywhere here.
He's calling it back.
He's actually called it back. So he mustn't have gone over his mark, Barrow. So they have been bailed out big time there, the Tigers. He went looking for Lang in the corridor. Lang slipped over. Orgarinos chipped across and took the mark. Barrow might be best advised just keep it down the line. That's where he goes now. Marking target is Cody Spokes, front of the pack, and taken high is Blood. His knees went into the shins of Cody Spokes. And he wins a free kick. Jack Blood. Dobson presents a lead. Instead he goes to the pocket. Dowling with the one hand. And Mark paid no hold. I was going to give him the Hamlin hanger, but he's going to get a free kick for a hold. And this is in the right forward pocket, which is the right side for the left footer. Jack Blood comes from the ground. The kids want to high-five him. And he's just being checked to see if he's okay by the medical staff after copping that little knock. Tap on the
cat's head.
Tap on the backside, and he's going to be good to go again when the rotation comes around. Paddy Dowling, right forward pocket in front of the St Mary's faithful, swings out onto the left boot, hits it quite nicely, but it fades across the face. Oh, big fly on the defensive goal line by Zybell. He couldn't mark, but they were clear with a kick into the right back pocket. Here's Hawker with it, out of sight of the ground for the Tigers. He just got to roll the dice now. Kick to the wing, wanting Lang. He was able to get it out of bounds with 3 other St Mary's players around him, and it's off hands for a boundary throw-in. Right in front of the scoreboard, thanks to Barwon Foods, selling the freshest fish direct to you, Donga Road, North Geelong, that shows St Mary's leading by 20, and we approach 15 minutes played on the Port Phillip Ferries time clock.
Zybell, big thump away, gains 30 metres. Needs a teammate to pick it up, though. Getting across there, Nick Stevens just threw the ball out of bounds, and the umpire said it was a throw, deliberate, so it will be a free kick. Bailey Scott will go for Colac. Deep inside 50. Going up, Burke, no mark. Sprague taps it back towards Ling. They run across the face of goal. St Mary's. Dangerous kick. Dowling will have to be good here in front of Malik, and Inez. Jeez, he's good overhead, isn't he?
He's strong.
Fantastic Hamlin hanger contender from Paddy Dowling. Spears the ball back into Ling. They were going to try and go out the other side. He goes down the middle. Benson, handball. Continues on to Garner. Back on the ground now. Right foot kick long towards McMullen. Might get to him now. He can wheel around. Can he? Tried to get it back to Harry McMahon. He's got Travellini in support as well. Over the head of Orgarinos, turned it over. Monahan for Colac.
Monahan can send it wide to Bailey Scott. He'll have too much toe if the ball stays in play. He can be able to run away from Benson. Although Benson played it well. In fact, the boundary line got in the way. Surprised that Monahan didn't use Lang.
He was
going through the middle.
Yeah. Yep.
He went wide for Bailey Scott. It's out of bounds. Boundary throwing right half forward. Margin 20. Still plenty of time if they're good enough, Colac. Ball back into play. They're going to send Garner forward. Jared, I think that is. Zybell grabbed it out of the ruck. Helicoptered it off the boot, rolling towards the forward pocket. Adam Garner trying to keep it alive, but can't, and it's off hands, out of bounds, boundary throwing. Paul Peck pocket, or Lockie Peck pocket, I should say.
I think it's just the Peck pocket. I think it's just the Peck pocket, isn't it?
Yep. We'll get a boundary throw-in. 16 and 3/4 minutes played. Port Phillip Ferries time clock. There's no better way to travel to the footy. It's a great crowd here this afternoon. Zybell, Loftus. Chance now for Ling, taken in a Lang tackle. And it's underneath the pack, not coming out. Umpire Circle says, give it to me. I'll ball it up about 35 out from the Colac goal. They trail by 20. St Mary's within about 10 minutes of going top and a game clear with 3 rounds to play.
Zybell tried to get it down towards Simpkin. Falls to the back. Connors wrapped up straight away. And the umpire lets it go. The ball spills to the side of the pack. Somehow gets to Jared Garner. He and Zybell rugby scrum it. Ball still spills free. Third time, I think they're going to have to ball it up now. The umpire will come in and finally decide to ball it up. At 40 metres out from the Colac goal. Zybell, pretty much unchanged this afternoon. Tries to get it down at the back. Simpkin threw it. Connors got the clearing kick for St Mary's. Out towards centre wing. Chalcraft taps it backwards towards Harry McMahon to run onto it. They all fall over. Jared Walters doesn't. Then he runs into Chalcraft. He's in trouble now. The umpire will come in and ball it up. Centre wing, 13-7-85 St Mary's. Colac 9-11-65. We played 18 minutes final term. Port Phillip Ferries time clock.
Have the Saints done enough? Umpire puts it into the air. Tapped down by Loftus. Ball at ground level. Loftus will do his own roving, in fact. Dragged down in the tackle, so his handball went up the chimney. Boundary line too close for Maishman, who was taken out of play, and a boundary throw-in. So got the game on their terms for the moment, St Mary's. They just want to hold things up. Not allow Colac any free ball. Doing that fairly successfully at the moment. True centre wing. Outer side, ball back into play. Josh Garner doing the ruck work, winning it against Loftus. Won it to Monahan. Monahan handball over the top, just out of the reach of McDonald, who's got Jared Garner in his back pocket. He couldn't take it cleanly. Aaron Walters comes in to try and lay a tackle and hold things up. Maishman's handball back. Frees up Harry Ling to then kick off a step towards the outer wing. Flying Blood couldn't take the mark. Jared Walters to Lang by hand for Colac. He gave it off to Lockie Simpkin. Simpkin in traffic. Got a handball back on the bounce to Lang. Lang went to go one way, then handball the other way. Kick by Josh Garner towards Adam Garner. Ball bounces away from him in the boundary line. It didn't go out. Adam Garner kept it alive, and then he kicked it towards the right forward pocket and out of bounds on the full. And they are frittering some chances going inside forward 50. They've had as many scoring shots as the Saints, but they trail by 20. It's 85-65 to the Good St Marys in this final term, thanks to Bowen Foods, selling the freshest fish direct to you. Donga Road, North Geelong.
Ball, last line of defence for St Marys. Sprague has it. Been good in the second half when he's gone behind the ball. Goes long, punched on by Churgwin. Blood tried to get it. Lang did. Kick around the corner. Back towards Walters. Benson for St Marys. Gets it out towards Travellini. Can just pick it up. Can't take the mark, but got a bit of time. Comes towards centre wing. Chalcraft got a couple against him. Lockie Simpkins one. He's kicked back towards Monahan. Travellini did pretty well. Got three against him now. Hayes wrapped up. Benson comes in. And the umpire will come in and ball it up. Just forward to centre wing for Colac. And change in ruck now with Josh Garner in the ruck for Colac. Tapped on by Spokes towards half forward. Jamison to come at it. Handball only as far as Travellini. He's good handball to Nick Stevens. Oh, good kick across half back. Finds Joe Maishman.
Maishman, more than 80 games of VFL experience at Werribee. Slow start to season 2023. Kicks towards half forward, and Harry McMahon on a searching lead. Takes it on the chest right in front of our best seats in the house, thanks to the new Benny Jaffel at Apco Cafe 24/7. He goes laterally to true centre wing. He couldn't get any more truer centre wing than what Max Orgarino stands right now. He's called to play on. He'll deliver a kick towards a one-on-one. Dobson in a wrestle. Spoil Rennett's was good. Good fist on it. Decisive, sees it out of bounds. Boundary throw-in. Just outside 50 at right half forward. They are 3, 4, 5 deep around the fence in front of the Don Matheson Pavilion this afternoon. Ball back into play. Front position, Christensen winning the tap down against Josh Garner, rolling towards the boundary line. Maybe taken without. It was Hayes. Umpire said play on. Ball out of bounds one more time. And another stoppage. This will suit the Saints. They lead by 20. 21 and a half minutes almost played on the Port Phillip Ferries time clock. Looking for win number 13 of the season and to go a game clear with 3 rounds remaining of the home and away season. Boundary throw in. Shallow. Christensen a handball release on the bounce. Hayes couldn't pick it up below his bootlaces. Scott could though for some Colac. His kick was barreled towards Aaron Walters. A handball that was partially smothered. Bailey Scott overran the footy. Opened the door for Kane Loftus. He couldn't take the opportunity that was presented to him. Well done by Walters to get a handball into the path of Scott, who gave it to Hayes. He wants to take on Loftus. Good luck. Now Scott locked away by Loftus, and then he tried the don't argue. Lost the footy. Blood. Now a chance to send the Saints forward. His kick onto the chest of Dougie Bond, who marks it right half forward.
So Bond wants to play on. Handball over the top. Good tackle. Oh, sling tackle maybe. No, umpire Ganachia says no. That's holding the ball. Colac going to take a free kick. And I think Josh Garner's going to take the free kick. It is against Jack Blood. So at left half back for Colac. Oh, turns the ball over. Churgwin should have taken the mark. Didn't know. Got some support. Christensen, tried to give the handball away. Mucked it up. Monahan's handball back inboard. Scott. Right in the arms of Kane Loftus. He gets a kick away towards centre half forward. Now the handball back. Chain. Everybody's mucking it up. Play somebody. Do something properly. The kick comes in. Inside 50. Blood front on contact. Should get a free kick. And will do so. And the skipper will shoot for goal from 30 out, 45-degree angle.
Birchie, when you get a chance, can you just find out? Dion Johnston, I haven't seen for a while. Can you find out if there's an issue there from St Marys, if you're not aware of one already?
Yes, I was trying to work out who the missing player was for them.
Rotation was, yeah.
Joe Maishman's foot skills today have been elite.
Yes. They've got some good players.
Everything he has done today by foot has been unbelievable.
So Jack Blood, who hasn't kicked a goal yet this afternoon, 30 out, 45-degree angle to nail it. He comes in. I think he does that most Tuesdays and Thursdays, Jack. Puts it through for his first of the afternoon. And St Marys, 14-7-91. They lead Colac 9-11-65. Bowen Foods K-Rock final quarter scoreboard, queuing the rack, Kirsch.
Oh, absolutely. How messy was that? Like the whole, if you've just rocked up to the ground and you're going to watch 1v2, you'd be like, my hat am I? It's Anarchy North Geelong here. But no disrespect to those two clubs, but that's exactly the way that standard of play was for the last minute and a half there. But, St Marys, just the cream rises to the top when it's needed, and that's exactly what's happened today.
16 minutes between goals, which meant Colac have been playing catch-up all that time. Zybel won the tap down in the middle, though Maishman took it, had it stolen away from him by Scott, although he went back again and managed to get it only up to Benson. Christensen head over it. Zybel now trying to free the arms, get a handball. He did get a handball. Spokes went to go off the ground but had a fresh airy. Christensen has been really good this afternoon to a one-on-one. Blood worked his opponent and Simpkin off the footy and found the footy, but then had it knocked out of his grasp. And we'll get a stoppage at right half forward, just outside 50. 91-65, this game's done now. The Saints are going to go a game clear on top of the ladder, and right now they are the clear premiership favourite as they look for that very unique hat-trick of flags. Tap down Zybel, roving by Spokes. Try to get a handball towards Lockie, to Ben McCarthy, I should say. Now it'll clear Zybel towards Scott. Hasn't been his afternoon, been well checked. Quick kick forward, Jared Garner, tumbling punt. Coming up and not marking was Dustin Walters. Shergwin is too slow at the front of the pack. That's holding the ball. Good tackle laid by Jared Walters. Dustin Walters a clearing kick, and he finds McCarthy. He gives a handball off to Renitz, and they look to run on the outer side of the ground.
Thought about the kick, gave the handball instead to Cooper Hayes on centre wing. Takes a bounce, take two. Tries to size it up, kicks the ball over the top. Connors came up to Simpkin and pushed the ball over the boundary line. Good defensive play from the premiership hero, and it's over the boundary line for a throw-in right half forward for Colac. So Zybel, ruck work against Christensen. Zybel gets it down. Damien McMahon comes across in front of Monahan, traps the footy. Torpedo punt, open half-forward flank. Getting back there, Lockie Simpkin to start with for Colac. Handballs it away to Renitz. His handball inboard to Walters. Had to sit and wait. He got the handball back, mucking around with it. Renitz lost the footy now. Pressure comes from St Marys. Chalcraft needs some support. Got some. Doug Bond. He gets a push in the back. Umpire says play on. Now Benson pushed past it. Hillman for Colac. Long kick. It's a 4-on-4 inside. Jamison, the smallest, goes up and takes the mark and will shoot for goal from 40 metres out directly in front for his second.
Got a couple of little pocket rockets, haven't they, Colac? Hawker and Jamison.
Yep.
Is Colac the only team ever to have a Rani or a Rainey play for them locally? Because it was the Buchanan.
Buchanan.
Oh, yeah.
The oldest, yep. So Jamison. No, he's Rani. Comes in, and this Rani has a good kick. Kicks his second of the afternoon. And the 10th for Colac. They go 10-11-71. St Marys 14-7-91. Bowen Foods K-Rock final quarter scoreboard. We played 27 minutes on the Port Phillip Ferries final quarter time clock.
Good to see Colac just seeing it out. They're still fighting hard and still trying to win those one-on-one contests and get it forward, and they did on that occasion. A couple of good tackles, a couple of good little clearances, and then obviously the kick inside forward 50. So they're battling it out. It's just a bit of too far to go now, isn't it, with only a couple of minutes left, 20 points behind.
Big 3 weeks coming up for the Tigers. Newtown and Chilwell, St Joseph's and South Barwon. So 3 other members of the top half of the ladder to roll into finals. You can't say they won't be prepared if they... Well, they will be playing in September, but they won't be underprepared. Spokes a handball, try to get it on the bounce. Zybel will run onto the loose footy. 70 from goal. That's a mung inside forward. 50 bouncing ball. Stevens read best off the bounce. He took it, shared it by hand with Travellini. Right back pocket, stepped through the oncoming Jamison. Then gave a handball that actually ended up with Joffrey Simpkin slung in the tackle. Hillman tried to knock it into the path of Josh Garner. Didn't do it successfully. Connors dived on the footy. And umpire says give it to me in the left forward pocket. Northern end of the ground. St Marys by 20 as we've played 28 minutes on the Port Phillip Ferries time clock.
A ball up. Zybel tries to take it out of the ruck contest and then tried to give it away. Clearing kick back towards Bond, who goes up against Hawker. Ball spills free at half forward for the Tigers. Pack develops, and the umpire will come in and ball it up. A few blokes are going to sleep pretty well tonight. Been a pretty intense 4 quarters this afternoon from these two teams, as you would expect. Now ball up. Zybell and Christensen. Zybell tried to tap it out of the zone. Comes back towards centre half forward for the Tigers. Jack Mulligan gets wrapped up in the tackle by Jack Blood, straight to the ground, and umpire Ganaccia will ball it up once again. Zybell takes down the ruck, clearing kick inside 50. Handball back. Simpkin was too hot. Hawker runs back, gives it away to McCarthy. Left foot kick over the top, but Churgwin reads it the better for St Marys, and he will relieve the pressure for the home side.
Can't be too much play left. Only the 5 goals kicked in this final term, and we're at 29.5 minutes played on the Port Phillip Ferries time clock. Churgwin just sets it up to the wing. Sprague's target, although Benson got across in front, couldn't mark. And Algarinos was giving the handball to Cade Chalcraft before he took possession of it and then spilled it out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. Left half forward for the Tigers. They trail by 20. St Marys there run home. Lara here. South Barwon at McDonald. Bell Park at Hamlin. Ball back into play. Zybell, Christensen. Zybell just tried to palm it back into the path of Scott. He's being held. Umpire went to put the whistle to the mouth and then changed his mind. We saw that, umpire Ganaccia.
Yeah.
You put the whistle to the mouth.
He did.
Yeah, you were going to pay it. He'll be upset with us for bringing it up, but he'll be more upset the fact that Nick Dacos is going to miss the next 6 weeks. Wonderful tap down, Zybell. Lang hit it at pace. Kick inside forward 50. Spoil away by Garner. And it's going to be a free kick paid for. It's going to go to Colac for holding the ball. Was it a throw potentially? So either way, Jared Garner now arguing that Harry Benson's inside the protected zone. Well, he's just given him the ball back. Nice try, Adam. And that is siren. St Marys are on top with 3 rounds to play, and you would suspect they're going to start out of a second semi-final based on their run home. This for the margin. It sits at 20. Garner to cut it back to 14 and kick his 4th of the afternoon. Man on the mark, 40 from goal. Garner from 45, and he's hit that absolutely perfectly. Straight over the goal umpire's hat. It went. He's wondering, why didn't I do that in the second quarter? And he kicks his 4th, and the final margin is 14. In a very entertaining top-of-the-table clash. St Marys prevail, and they will be a game clear with 3 to play and a little bit of percentage as well. And it's fair to say with their run home, you'd have to think they'll beat Lara, they'll beat Bell Park, and they'll start favourites against South Barwon, and they'll roll into September, starting in a second semi-final, which will fall on September 16. 14-7-91 St Marys. Colac 11-11-77. The margin 14 points here at Cardinia Park West. 5th quarter underway thanks to the Sandman Mattress Factory. Sleep better with the Sandman's locally made 2-sided mattresses made to outlast any other. A rueful look on the face of Rowan McSparron, wondering, how do we beat these blokes?
Take their opportunities, I suspect.
That would be a good start, wouldn't it?
They've had one more scoring shot and no rush behinds by my count. Colac this afternoon.
No, correct.
So they have had opportunities, very gettable opportunities that they weren't able to take, as the crowd starts to disappear from here at Anthony Costa Oval. A great crowd has turned out to watch a clash between 2 high-quality football teams. You'd have to say the return of Jaron McCormack can't come soon enough for Colac. Just adds a little bit of flexibility to them. Wherever he can go forward, he can go back, he can play on a wing, he can play in the midfield, and I reckon they could do with somebody of his abilities. We're going to go down into the St Marys camp. A man who kicks an equal season high 6 goals this afternoon. He kicked 6 against Leopold early in the season. 6 this afternoon. Probably should have kicked 7. It's Sam Dobson with Jane Birch. Birchie, down to you for Geelong Sports Medicine Centre.
Yes, I have Sam Dobson. I'm not very happy with you because you've overtaken my tip for the leading goal kicker, but your team's very happy with you. Well done for getting on the end of,